What's up, man? What's good? What's up out there? Salute to the fam, man. Thumbs up as you pull up. It is the homie, Mainman Mademan in the building. Hey, man, y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Once again, it's on. Once again, a honor and a pleasure. I repeat, a honor and a pleasure. Rocking out with the boxing fam and the boxing fans. Thursday. You know what that means. Our time now, man. What up, fight fans? Sorry I'm late, fight fans. Sorry I'm late, man. I know I'm late. Live 10:24 p.m. out here from the DMV, man. My fault, fight fans, you know what I'm saying? But I got here as fast as I can, and the show must go on. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up as you pull up. I see everybody pulling on in the building. What's up, family? I see you on deck. Keisha Sellers, first one in our house. What's up? Salute to you, Keisha. Appreciate you rocking out with me tonight. I got Salah Farah up in here. What's up, man? In the house, dropping that boxing knowledge. You all ready? You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Hamatola, I see you, man. I see you. Salute to you. Salute to you. Oh shit is up in this joint. What's going on? Oh shit. I like that name, champ. Like that name, man. It's good to be rocking out with the fam tonight, fight fans. Yeah, man, looking forward to a cool ass show tonight, man. Rocking out with y'all tonight. Really looking forward to it. Hopefully the music ain't too loud and we're gonna get through this nice and smooth tonight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how we do on We Talking Boxing Live. This is the show where we basically speak on what's going on around the fight game. You know, we take a look at different cases, seeing what's going on around the sport, and we speak on it. You know what I'm saying? So salute to everybody, man. I really enjoyed that live stream we did yesterday, man, talking about Deontay Wilder. Feels good to be talking about my main man again, you know what I mean? Coming on back to the sport, you know what I'm saying? We dying to see what he look like. We dying to see if he still got that rocket power, still got that drive, and we most importantly dying to see what's going on between him and Malik Scott, you know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that conversation yesterday. We still trying to figure out exactly who my man gonna come back and fight, you know. Names like Robert Helenius floating around out there. Names like Charles Martin. Names like Andy Ruiz, the Luis Ortiz winner. Frank Warren got something to say. Eddie Hearn got something to say. Everybody's speaking on Deontay Wilder, and he ain't even got back yet, fight fans. Look like to me the heavyweight division can use a little dose of Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? So that was a cool ass discussion, man. Really appreciated that last night, man. I really did. So we're gonna get on through this, man. After the show, fight fans, and I told everybody that we will be premiering a brand new episode of The Red Corner. Tonight we're going to postpone that episode, and it's going to premiere sometime this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Maybe sometime tomorrow or Sunday. So just keep your third eye open for that. It'll premiere sometime this weekend. Also, do not forget that we got channel merchandise now. You can check the community tab where I left the link at, and I will also, after this is over, leave a link in the description box for anybody that want to rock out with the channel merchandise. Get your mugs, fight fans, get your mugs. So with that being said, man, let me see. I don't think we got no more on the announcement tip, man. I think we're gonna get to rolling through these topics tonight, and I think we good. So let's get this started. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what main man got on the agenda for tonight. You know, first off, fight fans, y'all know we got a fight this weekend. We got some fights. We got your man Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia busting back on the scene coming up this weekend, man. Going against Javier Fortuna. I know y'all see all of the interviews everywhere, man. I know y'all see young Ryan sporting his new tattoos and shit, you know what I mean? Got the little girlies out here going crazy. So young Ryan is coming back, and everybody is dying to see what Shawty look like when he come back on the scene. You know what I mean? So what I was doing, fight fans, I was just going on into the betting lines and seeing what the betting odds was looking like for this fight, and I'll put them right here on the screen so everybody can check them with me. And yeah, man, looking like Ryan coming in as the dumb super heavy favorite, minus 1250, fight fans, and a plus 700 for Javier Fortuna. That looks kind of far back. I'll zoom in something so everybody can get a nice little view on the betting odds, and we'll go through a couple more of them too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, as y'all can see right there, man, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, man, coming in as the crazy favorite. Oh man, every time I click something go crazy. All right, there we go. Yeah, he's coming in as the crazy favorite, man. Minus 1250. Javier Fortuna plus 700, man. So, damn, nobody ain't basically giving Javier Fortuna a chance. Looking like the lines are split on whether or not this going to go to a stoppage or whether this going to go to distance. We see right here in the corner the over and the under. Over 7.5 minus 115. Under 7.5 minus 115. So, look like the betting lines are kind of split on whether or not Ryan Garcia going to put an exclamation point on this fight. You know what I mean? I'm leaning towards Ryan. I think Ryan should go in there and get the job done, fight fans. He should go in there and get the job done. We know Ryan coming in there under a brand new coach. He got, what's my man, Goosen. He rocking out with Goosen this time around, man. Been listening to Ryan in recent interviews. And Ryan says that basically him and Goosen been working on some defense. They've been working on a lot of defensive stuff that he normally would not do on defense. Look like he working on now. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that Shawty can use. You know what I'm saying? He definitely can use some defense. And that's one of the things that, you know, I think he need to tighten up on this game. The defense and basically the footwork. I think his footwork needs some help too, champ. Like, he definitely needs some help in that footwork department. He gets some help with footwork and defense. Shawty will be a much better fighter. You know what I'm saying? Be a much better fighter. Look at this, man. Method of victory right here. Look at the odds, fight fans. Ryan Garcia by decision or technical decision is a plus 220. So it look like all of the money, believe it or not, is going on Ryan for the stoppage. Look at this. Minus 250. Ryan Garcia by KO, TKO, or DQ. Look like the money going on the stoppage. Money is going on the stoppage. Javier Fortuna by technical decision or decision plus 1,600. Nobody believed that Javier Fortuna is taking this for a decision. Shit, if I was to bet on Javier Fortuna, this is where I would bet it at. Right here on that decision. I mean, plus 1,600. I don't see Javier Fortuna stopping Ryan Garcia for sure. Plus 1,600. If you was to bet on Javier Fortuna, that should be where your money going. You know what I mean? Javier Fortuna by knockout, TKO, or DQ, plus 1,200. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Javier Fortuna stopping Ryan Garcia. And we're going to talk a little deeper about that. You know what I'm saying? And I got my reasons. Fight fans. I got my reasons. Draw or technical draw. The money is plus 2,500 on the draw. That's a lot of money. Nobody is believing in the draw for the night, but shit, somebody might want to take that chance. I mean, look, if Javier Fortuna was to go in there and, like, really be beating on Ryan Garcia, y'all already know they ain't going to take this away from Ryan. I mean, we're going to go there in a minute. But I got a hard time believing that they're going to take this away from Ryan. And if Javier is way up, the most they're going to have to do is make this a draw. Shit, look at that right there. Plus 2,500 right there. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Let's see, man. Let's go deep into the betting here. Ryan Garcia, we already, by knockout from rounds 1 to 3. Nobody is believing that. Plus 400. Nobody is believing that. Let's see where the money at, though. Let's see where the money is. Nobody is believing in Javier Fortuna knockout from rounds 1 to 3. Plus 5,000 fight fans. Ain't nobody believing in that, right? Nobody believing in that. Damn, where is it at? No money. Look at this here, man. Javier Fortuna by knockout or DQ, rounds 1 to 2. Nobody believing in that. Plus 8,000 fight fans. Nobody believing Javier Fortuna stopping Ryan Garcia in 2 rounds. Nobody believe it. Look at this. Ryan Garcia, knockout, TKO, or disqualification in rounds 11 to 12. Plus 900. That's not a bad bet. If Ryan was to get that stoppage, I think it would come late. That's just me. I mean, I think it would come late. 11 to 12, plus 900 fight fans. Do y'all believe Ryan would stop Javier? Do y'all believe that Ryan would stop Javier? That's the question by itself. But to say that if it was to happen in that fact, I think 11 to 12 is a good bet, man. Plus 900. It's a good bet. Champ. It's a good bet. Let's see. Ryan Garcia by knockout 9 to 10. 9 to 10 plus 550. That's a little less. That's not bad either, though. It's not bad either. Something to think about with it, fight fans. Something to think about. What about the rounds? Let's see where the money is going at on the rounds. What rounds? Let's go to the rounds. Look at this. Nobody believing that Ryan is doing it in rounds 1, 2, or 3, 4. Look at it. If anybody's believing in this, it looked like the most that people would believe in this is Ryan by knockout in the mid rounds here. We're looking at 5, 6, and 7. If anyone believing that Ryan is going to be stopping Javier Fortuna, the bettors believe at most 5, 6, and 7. That's plus 800. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Javier Fortuna, look at this shit. Nobody believing in basically no stoppages for Fortuna in them first 4 rounds, plus 10,000 fight fans. Look at that. First 5 rounds, plus 8,000 that Javier Fortuna doesn't get a knockout, TKO, or DQ in any of these rounds. Basically, no one's believing that Javier Fortuna gets a stoppage, period. Nobody ain't damn, but Lord knows if he do. My goodness, and you picked the round. Look at these odds, plus 10,000 fight fans. That's insane. That's insane. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Will the fight go the distance? The odds are saying yes, plus 215. No, minus 275. So, yeah, man. Look at that. Look at that. I think this fight goes the distance, man. I would take that 2 plus 215. Who believing it's going the distance? 215 if you think it's going the distance. Just going the distance. 215. Not bad, not bad. I think it goes the distance, fight fans. Or do y'all think they're going to dress it up? We about to talk more about this. Let me see. See, the thing is, fight fans, this shit, it's some skepticism on my part with this. I'm going to be 100 with y'all, man. Look, man, hey, let's call this for what this is. Let me switch the artwork for a second here, man. Hold on. We'll come back to Ryan in a second, man. But let's talk about this dude, Javier Fortuna. Hold on. Got my water bottle in the way. Sorry. Hold on. Let's talk about this cat for a second. You know, the thing about Javier Fortuna, fight fans, I guess the big question that I have this in for this fight going in, and I guess I'll speak on it because ain't nobody going to want to say what they want to say, but I'm going to say it. Do you trust them, fight fans? Do you trust them? I'm talking about Javier Fortuna and Samson Lekowicz, the promoter of Javier Fortuna. You know, hey, look, man, I'm not forgotten exactly who Javier Fortuna is. Look, these two have done some shiesty, scheming ass stuff in the past. And for this particular fight, I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, do you trust them enough to not do no kind of corruption? Why do you ask that, man? Look, man, if there's no bigger patsy in the game, fight fans, it's Javier Fortuna and Samson Lekowicz. Like, Javier Fortuna really loves him some Samson Lekowicz. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really loves him some Samson Lekowicz. And he'll do anything that Samson tell him to do. And one thing I know about these two is in the past, and let's pull up Javier Fortuna's boxing record real quick. I'll pull up his boxing record real quick. If we look at these fights right here from Javier Fortuna, for example, I remember these two scheming when Devin Haney originally won that WBC title. And then he had to opt out for some surgery because I guess he wanted to get some surgery done. So, of course, with the quickness, remember, it was the WBC that came along dumb fast and was threatening to strip Devin Haney. Matter of fact, they made him vacate that belt. And, I mean, it was just, fast. They got that belt off Devin Haney. And soon as that happened, the first one that jumped at it was Javier Fortuna. And I believe he was going to face, I believe it was Jorge Linares, wasn't it? Jorge Linares is what they were lining up. Well, it was Javier Fortuna that jumped in with the super duper dumb quickness for that particular belt. However, Devin Haney had came back in time to go and defend that particular belt. And when Devin came back, he was looking at Javier like, yo, what's up? And they didn't want to go near Devin Haney. Javier Fortuna instead was mentioning to be fighting this guy, mentioning to be fighting that guy. And none of these fights never came to fruition. Luke Campbell, he was talking about Jorge Linares, all of that shaky moving that was going around. And it was a little iffy because it was almost like Javier was avoiding Devin Haney. Let's call it for what it is. When you look at Javier's resume right here, Lozado, the Jojo Diaz fight, I remember that fight. That was a good fight. But you go back during that time, and he was fighting the Jesus Cuelars, the Sharif Bogaris, and the Adrian Granados. And I remember this fight, and we're going to go there next. You know what I'm saying? The loss to Robert Easter Jr., which I thought he should have got the nod in that fight. It could have been, it was real arguable. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't really doing much. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting these Jesus Cuelars and Sharif Bogari type dudes, avoiding Devin Haney. Devin Haney offered him up. And then we heard Samson Lekowicz, his promoter, on interviews, and I believe it was an interview over there with TBV, where he was the one that let out the bag that they were all basically waiting for Devin Haney to move up in weight. They were scheming on that WBC. They were purposely avoiding Devin Haney, saying that he was too big for the weight class, and they knew that he would move up. And it was Samson Lekowicz that came out and told everybody that. And then on top of that, you go back once again to this Adrian Granados fight. And come on, fight fans, for those who remember this fight, this was the funniest looking fight that you ever saw. This dude, Javier Fortuna, got knocked out the ring in this fight. It was ruled a no contest, as we see. Knocked out the ring. People looking at that dude like, what the hell is, he was rolling all over the place, and some say he was getting his ass whooped, and so he had to fake the accident to get the hell out of that fight. Because Adrian Granados was digging up in his bee's knees. Adrian Granados, fight fans, was giving him the bee's knees in that fight. And Javier Fortuna went through the ropes, fell out the ring, and now he injured, and they had to carry him out on the stretcher. It was crazy, remember? And so when I think about what he did in the Granados fight, when I think about the words of Samson Lekowicz of telling everybody they was waiting for Devin Haney to move up in weight, and then I also think about how they moved Javier Fortuna once Devin Haney came back and assumed that belt. And it makes me ask the question, fight fans, once again, do you trust them? This is why my position is, do you trust them? Why? What, main man? What could be on the line so bad that we could not trust them? And it's simple. We all heard that Steven Espinoza just recently came out, and he told the world, basically from a Showtime point of view, that they basically are interested in doing the Ryan Garcia fight for Gervonta Davis. So does anything stop that train, fight fans? If Showtime is talking in that fashion, does anything stop that train? If there was anyone that you think that could, and I'm not accusing them of nothing, I'm just saying, if there was anyone, would you think that they would do anything like that? Do you trust them? I'm looking at Javier Fortuna. I see him giving his hat to Ryan Garcia. They trading hats and shit. You know what I mean? Like then I see him over there with Oscar De La Hoya. He rubbing Oscar all on the shoulders, and they all laughy and shit and happy shit. You know, everybody's happy to be there. Matter of fact, I believe wasn't Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna supposed to had already been fought? And then they got off again, on again, or something like that. As a matter of fact, that's how we end up getting Javier Fortuna versus Jojo Diaz, and he lost to Jojo Diaz. We end up getting that fight because Ryan ended up getting out the damn way. That's how we ended up. So Ryan was supposed to been fight Javier Fortuna. Anyway, man, Javier was fighting all of them dudes we just saw. But the question is, fight fans, do you trust them? And do I have any reason to not? I'm just asking, fight fans. I'm just asking, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is, though, man, with Ryan Garcia, right? So at the end of the day, this is basically going to be Ryan Garcia's moment. I listened to their little press conference. Oh, let me get this out the way. Sorry. I listened to their press conference, fight fans. And one thing I took away from that, I listened to Javier Fortuna. He say, hey, they asked him, where do you rank Ryan Garcia amongst today's lightweights? Like, where do you see him at? Amongst the Tanks, amongst the Shakurs of the world, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, where do you see Ryan Garcia ranked? And Javier Fortuna said roughly about 6. Somewhere around there. Roughly about 6. So I got to ask this question of the fight fans. Amongst today's lightweights, Ryan Garcia basically set out for a while because We know he had his little issues, his little mental health issues or whatever he had going on. So he lost a lot of ground. You know what I mean? We got Gervonta Davis out this thing opening markets. I got Gervonta Davis out this thing opening up markets. I got Devin Haney out here going into the backyard of foreign countries, becoming undisputed and beating the system. And beating the system, fight fans. Y'all know what they wanted to do with that kid, man. So I got Devin Haney over there beating the system. I got Gervonta Davis out here open markets and doing all kinds of shit with Madonna. I got Shakur Stevenson moving up, becoming unified. Moving up on people's pound for pound lists and stuff. I got Stevie Fulton down there unified, you know what I'm saying? Make moves like a champ. Down that thing trying to become the man, trying to become undisputed. All of these moves are being made, fight fans. And Ryan Garcia seems to be the one that's kind of lagging behind. Hold on, fight fans. Let me get this off the screen for a second. Ryan Garcia seems to be the one that's kind of lagging behind. So I asked the question of where do y'all rank Ryan Garcia amongst all of the top, the new gen? Hell, Gary Antoine Russell being the first fighter to stop Victor Postal. Gary Antoine Russell taking on former two-time champion Rancis Bartholomew in his upcoming fight. Young boys making moves out here. Young boys making moves out here, young Ryan. What are you doing? I get it. You had your off settings, but you still lagging behind. You didn't fight Javier. You didn't fight JoJo. You didn't fight Devin. Devin over there on your network. None of that ain't happening. All I'm hearing is Tank. I've been hearing about Tank for years. I've been hearing about Manny Pacquiao. I've been hearing about you and everybody, but you ain't fought nobody. So I asked the question of where do y'all rank him at? I'm going to say Devin, Tank, that's 2. Vasyl Lomachenko, that's 3. Is he roughly about 4? Or do y'all give Jojo Diaz ahead of him? Or are we putting Jojo Diaz ahead of him? Jojo Diaz or Ryan? Jojo Diaz or Ryan? I got to put Javier Fortuna in front of him. Javier got bigger wins than Ryan. I gotta say Javier Fortuna. He did beat Bunny. So that's 4 right there. Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, Vasyl Lomachenko, Javier Fortuna. Maybe if he beat Javier, that lifts him up. Javier Fortuna. Him and Jojo Diaz are like, whoa. I gotta probably give it to Ryan, but Jojo beat Javier, so shit. But he lost to Devin, but he beat Javier. I don't know. I gotta put him behind Jojo Diaz, fight fans. I gotta put him behind Jojo Diaz because Jojo beat Javier, and all Ryan gave me is Luke the Juke. All Ryan has beat is Luke the Juke. At least Jojo beat Javier. Look, yeah, Ryan is about 6. That's about 6. Ryan got to cover some ground, bro. We talking about him and Tank, and Ryan is left, at least as of today, he's standing about 6 amongst the lightweights, man. About 6. About 6. Akbar, what's up, Akbar? I love Fortuna. Been watching him since the ballroom boxing, but I think that Garcia is going to get him maybe by knockout. You seen them odds? You seen them it's them odds. If you think it's going to be a knockout, man, take a chance. Take a chance. I don't know, bro. I gotta say, yeah, Ryan is about 6, bro. I gotta say Devin. Gervonta, Vasyl Lomachenko. Devin, Gervonta, Vasyl Lomachenko. Javier Fortuna. Jojo Diaz. And then Ryan Garcia. That's where it's standing at 135. I mean, in no particular order between Devin and Tank, but I guess since Devin got the belts, you got to give it that. Devin number 1, Tank right behind him. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Ryan, you got some ground to cover, champ. You got some ground to cover. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, like what does this fight do? I would think something good. I mean, Ryan Garcia is pretty much baked in with the WBC. The second that Devin get rid of this belt, They gonna line Ryan Garcia for that belt ASAP. Y'all can you can best believe that. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, roughly about 6 fight fans. Roughly about 6. That's why I think he stands at in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? So the question is though, man. I guess going into this fight, like I asked earlier, what do y'all think is the things that the kid is missing? And I think if you got to say what the kid is missing, man, it has to be the footwork and the defense. It's got to be tighter going forward. I would think his man strength is probably be getting to that point where that man strength should be setting in. But defense and footwork, I think, is his biggest things that he missing out his game right now. The question is, for the Tank fight, does he need a highlight? It would help. Because the question of, is the fight big enough to do the crossover thing? Like Pacquiao and Mayweather, like Fury and Wilder. Is him and Tank big enough for Showtime and DAZN to come together and want to actually do that fight? Or is it all just BS talk? And we all know, fight fans, that the only reason that the fight is even a go is because of a popularity contest. Not because of these dudes that beat the best in their division, because it's a popularity contest. But the shit will sell. I'm not going to fake like it won't. The shit will sell. They 2 kids. They got that generation. You got Oscar De La Hoya on one side. You got Floyd Mayweather on the other side. Floyd and Oscar alone, just jabbing at each other alone, is going to fucking sell it. Talking about they fight, talking about what they did back in the day. That alone would sell the fight between Tank and Ryan. If Oscar and Floyd fake like they was even going to fight again, that'd be even big. They talking about exhibitions. Remember when Oscar was getting all in shape and talking about doing exhibitions and all that? I thought that's what they was going to do. I said, well, maybe he come back and challenge Floyd. Floyd out here still doing exhibitions. Floyd just said in a recent interview he gonna get $200 million for his next 2 or 3 exhibitions. He should have did one with Oscar. They should have just did it again. Oscar and Floyd on the card with Tank and Ryan would have been a blockbuster. Still can be. Still can be. Don't think it's impossible, fight fans. With all of the circus shows that we've been seeing around boxing, this shit ain't impossible. This shit ain't impossible, and it's a money maker. And that could be honestly big enough to cross networks. Ain't nobody wasn't trying to get no DAZN, no end to the American market. Y'all know that. Look how hardball ESPN been playing with them. So for Showtime to say, hey, we'll do it. I mean, I don't know. But do they need a highlight? Do they need the highlight, fight fans? Let's go over to Stephen Espinoza and what he said about this. But first off, you know what? Before I go there, you know, the question begs itself, because people, and we go here every week, and I'm just going to take a quick peek at the rankings again real quick, because we go through this weekly, fight fans, of what the hell is going to be the moves for Gervonta Tank Davis. We go through this weekly. It's everybody clout chasing them. You got, like I said, you got Devin out here running around clout chasing Tank. You got Ryan out here clout chasing Tank. You got everybody out here clout chasing Gervonta Davis for a fight. Mainly because, like I said, he opening markets, he doing what he doing, he popping. Nobody ain't signing over there where he at, though. I do find that a bit funny. Everybody want the Tank fight, but ain't nobody signing over there. I keep asking that question. I mean, that's just the name of the game. It's not whether or not I like the game. It's not whether or not, or if I'm cool with it or not. I'm not. I want to see the best fight the best. But at the end of the day, this is what they doing, fight fans. This is what they doing. And the name of the game is, look, if anybody want to get the Tank fight, then somebody going to have to come over there and sign with TMT, Floyd and Al. Devin Haney made his decision to go over there with Bob and Lou DiBella, which makes things toxic and make things harder to do for a Tank fight. Which, why I asked the question of why run over there and scream for Gervonta Tank Davis when you had the opportunity to maybe sit down and talk to these boys? Why go over to Lou and why go over to Bob and then say, well, I want the Tank fight? Everybody knows that, you know, yeah, the WBA situation could come into play, but they're not tripping off belts. And these sanctioning bodies are going to bid into the will of the attraction. They'll give Tank all kind of time. Tank got time right now, believe it or not. Take a look at the rankings real quick. Tank got time right now. Last I checked. Let's see. Yeah, they done bought him some time. Well, actually, Haney's situation bought him some time. I take that back. I mean, if this was probably any other fighter, maybe they would not have the same. Maybe they wouldn't have the same amount of time. But Haney's situation literally bought Tank some time, because Devin Haney now, who is the super champion in the WBA, fight fans, Gervonta Davis being the regular champion. Yeah, the WBA was going to order that fight, but Devin Haney has a rematch clause in place. That's enough leeway for the WBA to say, well, Gervonta Davis, you can chill for a minute, man. Devin Haney has a rematch clause in place, and George Kambosos wants his rematch. That buys Gervonta Davis time. He can hold on to that WBA strap a little bit longer. And even if the rematch fall through, now we hearing talks about Vasyl Lomachenko being back on the scene, fight fans. Word on the curb is that he back in training, ready to gear up to come back in the fall. Y'all already know that Bob Arum wants that fight. You know Vasyl Lomachenko gonna want that fight because Devin got the belts. Makes it tough for us to talk about a Gervonta Davis fight, but Gervonta Davis got time now. There's a rematch clause in place. Devin Haney has to go get that settled. I mean, yeah, could they make George Kambosos step aside? Sure. But why? Like I said, Gervonta Davis and Floyd and them ain't going to bend to the will of Haney, Bob Arum, and Lou DiBella. That ain't going to happen. So they're going to sit back and do what they do. They got time now. You got a rematch clause. You got to go fight that man again. So the question is still burning in boxing fans' minds of Mainman. Well, what the hell is he going to do? The best things that fans is coming up with, the best ideas that we've even came up with here on the channel, fight fans, is Usyk Pitbull Cruz and maybe, of course, the Ryan Garcia fight. Of course, if you're keeping your third eye open, you're looking at what's going on up at 140, knowing that the WBA championship is vacant. Could Gervonta Davis move up and challenge for that? We're hearing about Puello and Barroso is going to be fighting possibly for that vacant title. But if Gervonta Davis wanted to pull that string, could he? Maybe challenge one of them. Would he? Other than that, fight fans, we talking about nothing here. We know they're not going to do Regis. We know he ain't going to face no Sander Martin. We talking about nothing here, fight fans. He not going to face Jezreel Corrales, Michelle Rivera. Not going to happen. We're talking about nothing. So who is the name? The number one spot is vacant. That buys Tank some time. Who are we talking? The only logical answer that we're hearing is Ryan Garcia. And now what gives this an even deeper shade of validity, fight fans, is that we've recently heard Steven Espinoza come out in recent interviews and basically stamp this and say exactly what he wants to do. He wants to do, of course, you know, they're talking about Bud and Spence by the end of the year, but he also wants to do Gervonta Davis. Let's put Steven Espinoza's statement up here on the screen real quick. And this is what Steven Espinoza basically, this is the whole entire statement, and we can deal with this whole entire statement if y'all want to, fight fans. But I want to deal with the Tank part right quick. It's the Tank and Ryan Garcia part. And that's going to be towards the bottom. He says that if we are able to get Spence and Crawford done, that'll be 2 fights for undisputed titles this year as well. The path is much clearer to Spence and Crawford than Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. But so this was one of the fights that they wanted to do. Look at that top paragraph. Everyone wants to know about Spence and Crawford, hopefully Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis as well. So this is the head Showtime suit right here, fight fans. Steven the Weasel Espinoza, who is trying to lose the nickname the Weasel if he give us the Spence and Crawford fight, of course. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be a genius then, Steven. You are going to be a legend, my man. A straight up legend, champ, if you give us Spence and Crawford. But Steven Espinoza, Showtime suit, who's basically behind Gervonta Davis, is saying, hey, this is what we down to do. Now, my thing is, he knows the politics at hand here. He knows that Ryan Garcia is with DAZN. He knows that he's with Oscar De La Hoya. He knows that that Oscar De La Hoya just recently extended his deal with the broadcaster DAZN. Steven Espinoza knows all of this. I mean, I'm a boxing fan and I know all of this. So I'm sure Steven Espinoza knows all of this. And if he knows all of this and he's still speaking on Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, I mean, is there some real, it must be some real teeth to it. It must be some teeth to it somewhere. Because the only move that I can see that Tank can go is either towards this fight or what they're going to, like I said, build a Latino fighter. I mean, what are they going to do? Just build one out of the blue? Create somebody? But if they were to do this fight fans, it would be huge. Steven knows the numbers. They want the fight, and they're willing to clearly cross networks to do it. DAZN is now operating on a pay-per-view model now. They said their pay-per-view was dead, but yet DAZN is now down with pay-per-view. It can happen. Oscar's out here in every interview. Floyd. If Floyd wants to do it, Floyd. If Al Heyman. But at the end of the day, fight fans, I mean, and I'm going to tell you something like this. If Steven Espinoza is any sort of way lying on this, the first thing that people are going to think is that he's also lying about Spence Crawford. If y'all see him capping on this Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia stuff, if y'all see him just talking just to hear himself talk, y'all think he will be capping about Crawford and Spence as well? Riddle me that. Riddle me that, fight fans. But this is what the man said. This is what the man said. So let's deal with the other part of this. I know y'all see it right there on your screen. Let's deal with it. You know, Spence and Crawford towards the end of the year. I love to hear shit like that. This makes me feel good, fight fans. Everyone wants to know about Spence and Crawford and hopefully Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis as well. I can't promise either one of those. I'm going to stop right there. I can't promise either one of those. But I feel pretty confident that we can get to Spence and Crawford before the end of the year. End quote. That is the quote that's going around the boxing world. That got everybody feeling all good. You know what I'm saying? See, them boys are working. You see the networks are working. This is all great stuff. I know there's still doubters out there. I know a lot of y'all out there like Mainman who trust the weasel. But I'm going to listen to these words. I'm going to take this along with Errol Spence Jr. has been saying, and I'm going to rock out with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to rock out with that. Now, a little bit of good news about this also, and I don't know if we've covered this already on the channel but I want to point this out if we ain't already pointed this out, because along with this Spence Crawford stuff, we got to also keep an eye on what's going on with Jaron Boots Ennis. We've been keeping our eye like every other week, tuning in to see what's happening with Jaron Ennis, because Jaron Ennis's path also shows a lot that has to do with Crawford and Spence. Now, depending on how he moves is very telling about this entire situation as well, fight fans. And one of the things that I've been going over and I've noticed here amongst the rankings, fight fans, is that the sure thing has now happened. I think we spoke about this. I'm not 100, but I think we have. But if we haven't, we will now. You know what I'm saying? And it's 100% now that Jaron Ennis has now taken the #1 spot in the IBF, effectively guaranteeing him to be the mandatory to Errol Spence Jr. He is now the mandatory to Errol Spence Jr., hands down. They don't put nobody in that #1 spot position right there, fight fans, unless they are the mandatory. And we all know that Jaron Ennis' last fight with Custio Clayton was dubbed to be a final eliminator in the IBF. So Jaron Ennis is effectively in position, fight fans. Effectively in position. Putting him either way, if Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford happens or doesn't happen, he's still in position for a damn big-ass fight. If the fight doesn't happen, which I believe it will, which I believe is probably already done, but if it doesn't happen, Errol Spence has got to see Jaron Boots Ennis. That mandatory is overdue. And if Errol Spence and Terence Crawford does happen, Jaron Ennis is in position to get the winner. My deal is, I believe that whoever wins between Spence and Crawford, once they become undisputed, I think they drop a belt anyway. I think that's going to be worked out with PBC. PBC is famous for working out deals that way. That was the deal. That was the same kind of deal that was worked out between Floyd and Manny. If y'all go back to the Floyd and Pacquiao fight, that's the same kind of deal that was worked out. Pacquiao lost his title, but the second that Floyd got it, he vacated it ASAP. It was already worked out. And I think that something like that will happen between Spence and Crawford. I believe that we'll get said undisputed champion, whoever that may be. We'll get the undisputed champion, and then after that, they drop a belt so Gervonta Ennis can fight for it. Probably against Keith Thurman. I don't know. Probably against Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman says he'll take that fight if a belt is involved. Gervonta Ennis said he was told that if a belt is involved, that he will get the Keith Thurman fight. It makes sense that if Terence Crawford and Spence happen, they drop the belt. You don't have to wear that undisputed tag for more than that one fight. Once one of them men reach that undisputed tag, that's it. After that, they can let them go. You ain't got to pay sanctioning fees galore. They about to eat good. They make the biggest moment. They got the biggest fight in boxing. They don't have to, pay a bunch of sanctioning fees. They already at that point bigger than belts. They're already at that point bigger than belts, fight fans. And so this will give way, once again, to Gervonta Ennis to get in the mix, to get a title shot. As for Vergil Ortiz, well, we just don't know where he goes. They gotta stop pussyfooting with him, man. I don't know what's going on with Vergil, bro. They got to stop pussyfooting with Vergil. You know what I'm saying? If Oscar can work out some sort of situation that Ryan Garcia does fight Tank Davis, maybe they can work Vergil into something where he can get a PBC fighter also. It just would make sense. That whole card can be fucking fired, champ. That whole card can be, you can do Floyd and Oscar, right? The old timers. You can do Ryan and Tank, and then you can do Vergil and Boots. You could do Vergil and Boots or Vergil and Keith. Bro, that whole card would be fire. That's a pay-per-view card. That's a pay-per-view card. Why don't they do shit like that, fight fans? Why when we talk about this type stuff, this stuff gotta always be pipe dreams, man? Why has it always got to, these are just things that just make sense, don't you think? Think about it. If we're going to look at some old timers fights, some exhibition circus fights, why not do Oscar and Floyd? Why not do Oscar and Floyd? Let the old timers and the young boys, it just all on the same card, and then you throw Vergil in there too, and he can really get some real smoke. Cause right now, Vergil over there on DAZN, we don't know where he going, bruh. We have no idea. We have no clue. He fighting some dude. Who he fighting again? Whatever, man. We don't even know. He trying to get in the mix. Maybe they do. Why not? Why Vergil Ortiz versus Conor Ben ain't being talked about? Why that ain't being talked about? Ain't they on the same network? Like they both fight for DAZN, right? Why Vergil Ortiz and Conor Ben? And why are we talking about Conor Ben and Keith Thurman? Why Eddie Hearn running around here talking about Conor Ben and Keith Thurman? When you got Vergil Ortiz right there on your network. This is the shit that I don't be understanding about boxing, fight fans. This is the stuff that make you bang your head up against the wall like, okay, if we going to talk politics and say, well, politics stops this and that, when you get the fights that politics got nothing to do with, nobody got an answer. Eddie Hearn is distracting the hell out of everybody talking about Conor Ben and Keith Thurman. A fight that don't happen. Freaking the Haney's running around here talking about Gervonta Davis when you got Vasyl Lomachenko and Shakur right there. I told y'all, y'all caught the recent interviews from Shakur Stevenson. Shakur is out here telling y'all, I don't have to say people's name. I don't have to run behind. I don't have to say Gervonta Davis' name. I don't have to do all of that shit. That's why I be fucking with Shorty, man. But the rest of these dudes, they just saying stuff that don't make any sort of sense, that's confusing boxing fans, and that hurts the sport more than anything. Because boxing fans thinking that this is real, this is real, this is real, when whole time this shit is fake and puffed up in BS. And this is why I'm drilling down on this Ryan Garcia and Tank thing, because now we got Steven Suit bringing some validity to this, like as if they're interested in making that fight. I'm sick of the smoke and mirrors, man. That just hit me like a ton of bricks. Fucking Conor Ben and Vergil Ortiz right there on DAZN. They're hunting for opponents for these dudes. And neither one are looking at each other. All Eddie got to do is pick up the phone and call Oscar and see if they can make something happen. Or they scared to have one of their young prospects lose. Is that what's going on? But we always sitting around talking about who Tank gonna fight. Look at what everybody else is doing. But who's Gervonta Davis gonna fight, man? You know what I mean? Like this, I don't be understanding this shit, fight fans. Let me see what some of the fam talking about before we move forward. Yeah, man. Hit that like button for me, man. Salute to everybody, man. Hit that thumbs up for the homie, man. Thumbs up for the homie. L Dub says Leo Santa Cruz versus Ray Vargas unification next. Stay tuned. I see it definitely. I see that definitely happening, L Dub. I definitely see that, fam. I definitely see that. You know what I mean? We was talking about that the other day, man. We already know that's exactly where they want to go, man. When Gary was in that spot, man, nobody was jumping that damn fast. But that seemed like the fight that PBC would definitely do. I see that coming. Akbar says, oh yeah, we already read that. I love Fortuna. Yeah, big facts. Muhammad Tola says if Ryan is able to add new wrinkles to his game, especially defense, he'll definitely be in the conversation for big fights. I always think that it's got a lot to do with his footwork too, man. His legs still be a little too jiggly for me. That front foot still be just a bit too jiggly and too shaky for me. You know what I mean? Like, he got the speed, he got the coordination. I mean, he's still kind of like a work in progress to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? He got the speed, he got the combinations, he got the coordination. Power, like I said, I want to see if that man strength is really gonna come in a little better. He got some decent tools, especially to build upon. But the question is he building? Is he building? I believe that Oscar slowed him down for a reason. Because Oscar needs him to get them things. He was over there in Reynoso gym trying to pick up some tools, wasn't he? What happened there, fight fans? What happened there? What happened to the all-star Reynoso team? What happened to the Reynoso squad? Look like that squad then broke up, huh? Andy Ruiz is looking in the best shape of his life, getting the hell up out of Reynoso gym. Ryan Garcia getting the hell up out of Reynoso gym. I'm telling y'all, man, you know what, man? It almost seemed like they went over there, they saw something that they didn't like Reynoso doing things or something going on over there that's real iffy and fishy, and they got the hell out of that gym. That shit was awkward, fight fans. That shit was like awkward how it all went. They just disappeared. And of course, Canelo backing his man. Oh, it's about work ethic. They have no work ethic. They're not dedicated. They're not this. But I see Ryan Garcia looking in the best shape of his life. I see Andy Ruiz over there motivated all of the hell, looking in the best shape of his life. But when they were over in Reynoso's gym, they wasn't dedicated. They wasn't down to work hard. But what the hell what the hell are we seeing now? I don't know. Seems like he's real receptive to goosing, man. So hopefully he pick up some things. You know what I mean? Hopefully we pick up some things. Muhammad Tola says, I can't see Tank not asking for Ryan next. It's his biggest payday out there, and it'll be too risky to have him lose or look bad if Ryan stops Fortuna. It's a perfect storm. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense if he stops Fortuna, which, like I said, fight fans, I don't trust Fortuna. I just don't trust him. But if he stops Javier Fortuna, it'll be a highlight. It'll be the performance that they need. I mean, Javier Fortuna, like I said, he got a decent resume. He's always been known to be a good fighter. You know what I mean? He's always been known, as far as his abilities in the ring, to be a very good fighter. He can turn it up. He likes to turn it up. He welcomes a brawl. If you want to take it there with Javier, Javier's a get in, get out type of fighter. You know what I mean? He'll jump in, become explosive, and try to get out and try to do it all over again. I mean, if he pushes Ryan, I want to see how that looks. I want to see how Ryan deals with that. If Javier's on that front foot and he's jumping in with them bursts like he likes to do, I mean, I want to see how Ryan takes that. Will Ryan become a counterpuncher? Will he use his speed in that fashion? Can he do that? Because when Ryan is coming forward and imposing himself, putting those fast combinations together, he look good. He looks good in that manner, but every fighter ain't going to give him that fight. What happens if Javier Fortuna fights back and wants to push Ryan back? Is Ryan ready for that? Does he got that chromosome, fight fans? Does he got that boxing chromosome to know what to do going forward, going backwards? Is his footwork in place? Is it ready? Is he stronger? Some say he's looking bigger than 35. He's looking huge for the weight. Is he big? Is he strong? Is the man strength there? What is he missing? We'll learn a lot in this fight fans. Hopefully, we'll learn a lot in this fight. I want to keep saying that. Hopefully, we will learn a lot in this fight. What's up to my homie 2 Will Slim in the house, man? What's up with you, champ? Hey, everybody, man, do me a favor, though. Thumbs up, fight fans. Thumbs up for the homie. Thumbs up for the homie. Thumbs up for the homie. You know what I'm saying? Much love, y'all. Much love. I want to go here real quick. I got to go here. Hold up. Right. Where my boy at? There you go. Right here. We got to go here. For a second, fight fan. Hold on. Before I put the other dude on the screen, let me go here first off and give a major congratulations. Once again, they got to get like Bud, fight fans. This is how it always goes. Like we say this each and every time. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my homie, man. Terence Crawford is out here getting his image putting on video games now, fight fans, where the new video game ESBC Boxing or ES Boxing Club or something like that, they came out with the Terence Crawford character, fight fans. So Terence Crawford's been added to the game now. We know how they've been coming out like every other week or every few months or so, adding new characters, and now they've already released Terence Crawford. So Terence Crawford is now in the game. I checked the trailer out for that jump, man. That thing looking good, man. I cannot wait till they release to this boxing game, shawty, so I can get them controllers in my hand, get that thing mastered, get on here, call out everybody. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wants smoke, come get smoke. I'm coming after everybody, and I can't wait. And I'm going to be rocking with Terence Crawford because he already in the game. You know, they got to put the top dogs in there first. And for Terence Crawford, since, you know, this is going to be good promotion for him, by the way. I mean, his name is popping, so they throw him on the video game before they put him on Errol Spence on there. I haven't seen Errol Spence's name attached to the game. I haven't seen him involved with the game. I don't be seeing Errol Spence Jr.'s name pretty much anywhere. You know what I'm saying? The Hall of Fame come and go. We see Terence Crawford being at the Hall of Fame. We see him. They invite Terence Crawford to the Hall of Fame early to get his fist casted early because, I don't know, it's just like everybody want to be in the Crawford business. You know what I'm saying? And so now they putting him on this video game. Earl ain't on the video game. He's supposed to be the big fish, but he ain't on the video game. None of this shit ain't making no sense to me, fight fans. It's funny to me, like, everybody keep calling this dude like big fish, but all of the big moves are being made from Terence Crawford's end. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even in this particular deal with the particular negotiations or whatever, I mean, no matter how you slice it, you know, Errol Spence Jr. got Terence Crawford to thank for his absolute biggest payday. Errol Spence Jr. has Terence Crawford to thank for perhaps getting the biggest guaranteed check that he's ever seen. You know, he probably, and this is the reason why he's not going to walk away from the table. This is some of the leverage that Terence Crawford actually brings to this situation. Like, he is getting Errol Spence Jr. the biggest and best deal that he has ever seen, fight fans. Big fish, huh? Terence Crawford is getting Errol Spence Jr. the biggest fight payday for the most legacy that he has ever seen. Big fish, though. Big fish. Terence Crawford got Sean Porter his absolute biggest payday, correct? Big fish, though. Big fish, though. Even when y'all go around talk about heavy lifting, man, I'm talking about welterweight, man. You always talk about Crawford career. I mean, he got 3 belts at welterweight. Y'all just say that shit because y'all can't compete with the talking point that Terence Crawford got 6 of them bad boys and Earl only got 3. See, the thing that y'all leave out when y'all do that is when you add Errol Spence Jr.'s belts, y'all use every single belt that Errol Spence has ever got in his career. So to level the playing field, it's only right to use all of the belts that Terence Crawford had got in his career. And you will see that he doubles Errol Spence Jr. You see what I'm saying? But this is the big fish, though. That's why y'all be losing me with this big fish shit. Y'all be losing me with this Earl heavy lifting shit when Earl is getting everything that he's ever wanted from Terence Crawford. Literally everything. Maybe even a trip to the hall, thanks to Terence Crawford. But he the big fish, main man. And Terence Crawford don't got no Dallas Cowboys. Terence Crawford don't got no Jerry Jones. He ain't had no Fox. He had ESPN Plus, fight fans. He was on that app that nobody give a damn about. He was on an app that nobody give a damn about, yet this kid from an app that nobody give a damn about is giving Errol Spence Jr. everything that he could have only wished to get from any other opponent. And that's nothing but facts. That's nothing but facts. That's not Mainman Mademan. That's facts. That's exactly what that is. But y'all be killing me with the heavy lifting and the big fish. Errol Spence can't walk away from the table because he know damn well that he won't get nothing like this one from no Jerron Boots Ennis. He can't walk away. Well, man, he can just walk away. Yeah, y'all sound good. Can't walk away. Why? It's too much. He's facing a Hall of Famer. It's too fucking much to walk away from. Y'all tend to forget that point. It's great to see that PBC lined up all of their leverage and they try to eliminate Terence Crawford's leverage and do the Boots thing and get control of Boots. That was all brilliant. All brilliant. But it still doesn't match the fact that Terence Crawford is an absolute blessing to Errol Spence Jr. How would Errol feel about that? I mean, a blessing. A blessing. And you know, I'm going to tell y'all something like this too, fight fans. We've been having this talk here on the channel about the power situation of which one of these men is the harder puncher. Now, we've already established and drew lines on this, fight fans, and said that, well, main man, when it comes to power, Terence Crawford is a certified platinum knockout artist. We've already established that. And when it comes to Errol Spence Jr., fight fans, we've established that he is not as big of a puncher as Terence Crawford, but he has the ability to hurt someone if he hits them over and over and over and over again, right? He has to like hit them over and 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 over again, right? That's what he got to do to hurt somebody. But Terence Crawford only got to hit you one time. So when we talk about power, now everyone is going down the road of saying, well, main man, he hurt your Danis Ugas. He hurt your Danis Ugas, main man. So that should tell you he broke. I heard, listen to Dirk James. Oh, he broke up your Danis Ugas. You know, fight fans, I did some thinking about that. And I want to ask the question of this. I want to go back to my original question about Danis Ugas. Since everybody wants to say like he broke Ugas's ribs. He broke Ugas's ribs, main man. They say he damaged his face and he broke his face up and hold up, where's it at, man? Where's it at? They say he did all of this stuff. They said he did all of this stuff. But the question that I have that I have to ask of y'all fight fans, when it comes to your Danis Ugas, the same question, hold on, I'm just trying to line this up. The same question that I asked about Javier Fortuna, fight fans, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask is, do you trust him? Do you know for sure that your Danis Ugas was or was not already banged up going into the Errol Spence Jr. fight? I mean, it's one thing to say that, yeah, they broke up Ugas and they beat him up and all of this, that, and the third. How do I know that your Danis Ugas was not already beat up before he went into that fight? Remember, this is the same dude that told us before the Pacquiao fight that nothing was wrong with him when we seen these pictures going around. This was the same dude that was banged up for the Pacquiao fight and admitted after the fight was over, he did pull a bicep. And he went for surgery after the fight. Congratulations to your Danis Ugas for pulling out a victory against 40-something-year-old Manny Pacquiao and he had a busted bicep because none of us, we just took his word that he was good to go. So when they say that Errol Spence Jr. busted up and beat up Yordenis Ugas' ribs, how do I know his ribs wasn't already beat up and broke up? How do I know? Yordenis Ugas don't tell the truth. Was he already beat up? Was he already broken up? Was the damage already there and Earl just happened to capitalize on it? He didn't stop Yordenis Ugas. The doctor stopped it. And it took Earl to hit him over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But the question is, do you trust him? Do you trust him, fight fans? I mean, Yordenis Ugas is the claim to fame. He is the one that everybody say, well, look at the power of Errol Spence Jr. And then when I turn around and I ask the question of, well, when we talk about power, it seems to me that Earl didn't stop Mikey, but Bud was the first man to stop Porter. When we talk about power, Earl didn't stop Little Mike, but Crawford is the first man to stop Porter. I mean, I think about that equation and I think about, well, Ugas is the claim to fame. He is the one that everybody is running around holding up like Earl is back into the knockout category again. It's been 3 years. He's back in the knockout category again, man. Because of what he did to Ugas. And he broke him up. But was Ugas already broken up, fight fans? Riddle me that. So the golden question I have to ask once again, and I'm going to have to keep on asking this because, it'd be too much funny moving when it comes to this boxing shit, man. Sometimes you just don't know. Do you trust it? But power. So let's get back to this question about power. Let's talk about power. You know what I mean? I got Terence Crawford on a knockout streak that's covering different weight classes. Let's talk about power. Was he the first man to stop Jeff Horn? First man to stop Jeff Horn. Let's talk about power. Why come Earl didn't break up and bust up Mikey if he's so strong? Why didn't he break no bones on the 35-year-old? But he broke up already broken up Ugas. He broke up already broken up Ugas. So we talking about power. What would Terence Crawford have done to a Ugas that was already busted up, coming off surgeries, hiding injuries, and all kinds of shit? What would Terence Crawford have done to that dude? But we talking about power. I think it's hands down, fight fans. Hands down. I think we all know that Terence Crawford is the stronger fighter. He has more punching power. He's a certified knockout artist. And he has more power. Not to mention he has a wrestling background. So I wonder what happens if Earl gets too close quarters and we get into a tie-up game. Because we got Terence Crawford with a wrestling background, fight fans. But we talking about power. We talking about power. Has Errol Spence Jr. ever had a knockout streak like Terence Crawford that covers champions as well as weight classes? We talking about power. Not to mention the man has now been at welterweight for over 3 years. Fully acclimated to the weight. We talking about him stopping Jeff Horn, freshly moving up from 40 to 47. What happens now? He been sitting at the class for 3 years. What happens is you get stoppages over Sean Porter. But we talking about power. It's too late. Bud told y'all should have got me when I first moved up. They said he was too light in the ass back in the day. They say he was too small. He's been sitting at the class for over 3 years, and now he's talking about moving up to 54, and we talking about power. What is the evidence of Earl's power? What evidence do you got, fight fans? Do you have any? Or is everybody just talking out their ass because you see Errol with a 6-pack? That don't mean shit. He can have a 6-pack, 8-pack, 9-pack, 12-pack, but he ain't stopped nobody in years. But we talking about power. They say he too big for the weight. What does that do to his power? Crunching weight every day that goes past. If this fight goes into next year, who does that really hurt? Errol or Terence? We talking about power. Who is he stopping, fight fans? Who is he stopping? He couldn't stop Danny. I got Bud stopping Danny all day. Couldn't stop Sean. Bud already did that. Did he technically stop Kel when Kel took the knee? Kel took the knee on his own. He didn't get a chance to make it to a knee under Terence Crawford. He couldn't even make it to the knee. He wanted to probably take the knee. Khan wanted to take the knee, remember? He quit. He felt one good punch and quit. We talking about power. How does Amir Khan quit in that fashion, fight fans? Has Errol Spence ever made anybody do something like that? We talking about power. Riddle me that. Let me see what the fam talking about. Let's go there, man. ES Boxing Club boxing game will never come out, say Tony. Yeah, yo. I've been waiting for it for a while. Hey, bro, I've been talking about that game on here for when we talking boxing. Since I started doing We Talking Boxing. And I know I started the show at least 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Probably a little under 2 years ago. And I know for sure I've been covering that video game, bruh, ever since then. Ever since then, bro. At minimum, you know what I'm saying? At least a couple years. You know what I'm saying? So, damn, bro. When are they bringing the damn game out? Like, what are they waiting for at this point? Shit, by all of this time, we should be getting even another fight night. I mean, because they said last I checked about the fight night, they said that they were going to go back to doing fight night after they released, like, the next UFC or something like that. I think it's, like, after the next UFC because they, like, the same team that they was using to make the fight night, that same particular development team, I think now is the ones responsible for doing the UGC, I mean the UFC shit or whatever the fuck they call it. You know what I'm saying? Like they responsible for that shit. And so we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. I hope we get it, but damn, bro, this game been taking fucking forever in a damn day, bro. Forever in a day. Let me get back on the screen, fight fans. Forever in a day. You know, and the cool thing about that game is I was looking forward to it was that you gonna be able to play this thing tournament style. Remember they was talking about that. They was like this thing was going to be done tournament style. And like all of these ES whatever type games are going to be like in a league. Like they supposed to be developing teams for it and arenas for it all around the country. Like they're going to be doing it like a real live sporting league. And like teams going to be drafting people. And it's supposed to be like a big deal. And this is supposed to be one of the games they supposed to throw in there. So they need to hurry up and get this shit cracking, bro. Because we've been talking about this shit forever, champ. Heartless says, what's the game called? ES Boxing Club. Yep. ES Boxing Club. ESBC. Check it on out, man. YouTube it. Just YouTube Terence Crawford, ESBC, man. It should come on back. The game looks gorgeous. The movements, fluid, everything looks gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? The only thing one thing I'm looking into is that, like, the way the punches land. It looked like that's just a little bit off. It's just a little bit off on the way the punches land to me. But other than that, man, the game looked good as hell, dog. And I'm dying to play this shit. You know what I'm saying? Ugas' eye was already messed up. Leon Muhammad said it. Up. You mean to tell me that your Danish Ugas' eye was already messed up, C-Dub? What was that? Who said that? Oh, Dub 100. Dub 100 say, man, his eye was already messed up. Leon Muhammad said it. I'm going to look for that. I didn't hear that, fam. I did not hear that. Your Danish Ugas can't be if after that Manny Pacquiao situation, how can you trust him? How can we trust that he wasn't injured going into that fight? How can we trust that? Damn, I ain't even know that, Slim. You just brought something new to the table. You just bought something new. Red, what's up, Red? Crossing my fingers for this fight, man. On the other hand, cross for the Bivol versus Beterbiev fight, too. Yeah, we hoping to get that one, too, man. Salute to that Dimitri Bivol versus Zurdo Ramirez fight that's been announced. The WBA supposed to have ordered that fight, man. Hey, I'm hoping that we get that one done, too. I definitely want to see that Zurdo Ramirez versus Bivol fight, dog. If we can't get Bivol versus Beterbiev, that's the next best one. That's the next best one. Crawford stopped a lot of undefeated fighters, says it don't matter. Big facts. But when we talking about power, these are men that have never been stopped before. These are men that have never been stopped before, fight fans. We talking about power. Crawford is the bigger puncher. If he is the bigger puncher, what can that power do to the style of Errol Spence Jr.? Could it keep him the same? Could it change up his style? I always go to this example. Sean Porter is a man that I believe changed up his style due to Terence Crawford's power. He changed up his style due to what he saw against with Yordenis Ugas. Same thing. Power makes you change things. Makes you change things. Is Terence Crawford power enough to maybe give you a different Errol Spence? Some say, hell nah, bro. Nothing can stop Errol Spence. Nothing short of a freight train can stop that man. Lessons get learned, fight fans. Lessons get learned. You know what I'm saying? And if he has to adjust, can he adjust going backwards? If we get there. If he gets clipped. If he gets touched. Put on the back foot. If he's getting hit too many times. Too many hard shots coming his way between his punches. And he's on the back foot. What does that do to the fight? Big Dose in our house. What's up, Big Dose? Big Dose 513 on deck. What's up, man? Chilling, man. Man, what's up, family? What's up to the homie Big Dose, man? What's up, champ? Eddie Lava says, bro, you riding Terence Crawford nonstop. You seem more like a hater than a boxing fan. I don't know if you met me before, Eddie Lava. Mainman Mademan. Nice to meet you. Boxing aficionado. Check my workload before you come out with a statement that way. I've been rocking with Terence Crawford since 2015. I've been calling the fight game for years, brother, on all shades, on all levels. Check my work, bro. You know what I'm saying? Check my work. EA is the developer, says Gator Flash. EA is the developer? You saying the developer of the Fight Night? Yeah, developer of Fight Night. For sure. Developer of Fight Night. And that's what I'm saying, man. I would love to see EA put their resources back into Fight Night. I really would, man. But they so focused on the UFC stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? They putting Tyson Fury on the UFC games, fucking Bruce Lee and all this stupid shit, man. Just come on back out with the fight. Fight Night could have been out by now. All of this waiting on ESBC, it wouldn't have been none of that. And if EA was to announce that they was to start working on Fight Night, it would speed up ESBC. But then again, you know, let them get it right, fight fans. We don't want no badass game. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to wait this long, and next thing you know, we got a crappy ass game. We've been like starving for a boxing game. You know what I mean? Because I am like the Don. I am the Dundada of Fight Night champion. You know what I'm saying? I am the Dundada. Anybody want that smoke? Marlo, come get some. You know what I'm saying? Big facts. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So, you know, this is going to be interesting, man. I never knew that about Ugas. I never knew he said that, man. Go play Fight Night champion from 2011. Damn, that's how long ago since that joint came out? 2011? Damn. Bro, I got a Xbox 360, and that's the only game I keep in there. I don't even open the 360. The only game that's been in that same game for probably the last 2-3 years is Fight Night champion. It's been the only game in there, bro. I've never opened up the cartridge, and I just turn it on and play. It's like Fight Night. It's like the Fight Night game to me. That's why I've mastered that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've mastered that shit. Yeah, man. But you know what? That just answers the question, fight fans, when it comes down to this power debate. Because I've been having that debate a lot here on the channel. And I just want everybody to know when we breaking down power, especially, I've been seeing a lot of the comments with some of the shorts I've been putting out or whatever, man. And everybody that it just believe that Errol is breaking bones and Errol is snatching eyes and all of this shit, and we're using Ugas as the damn poster child. And that's all that I'm saying, fight fans. So, with that being said, man, I'm going to put this on up there, fight fans. Hold on real quick. Hold up. We're going to put the phone number up. We're going to put the phone number up. Anybody got a problem with anything that main man said, feel free to ring me up. Phone lines are now open. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to talk about anything that's going on in the sport, anything we cover here tonight, feel free to hit me on up. You know what I'm saying? I'll hang around a little bit longer to see if anybody want to call me up and talk about anything that's boxing. You know what I'm saying? I guess while I sit around here and wait, what I'll do is we can talk a little bit about this right here. Hold on, let me make sure I got my earphones on just in case. But we can chop it up a little bit about this right here real quick. And that's this AJ and Usyk, man. I've been staying on this fight, fans, especially with news of Deontay Wilder, you know what I mean, possibly coming back. You know what I mean? Definitely keeping our eye on what's going on with AJ and Usyk, man. And I keep asking the question every week, and you know, I see the main word that's starting to emerge from this AJ versus Usyk fight. And we know, like I said, you know, we see Ryan Garcia on the scene now, and Ryan Garcia is going to be the guy that's supposed to get him to the promised land. And the number one thing that Ryan Garcia is speaking about is aggression. That's what everybody is speaking about. You know, they're saying in order for Anthony Joshua to get in there and to defeat Alexander Usyk, it's going to take another level of aggression. It's funny because I just recently went back and watched their first fight. And, you know, I forgot how out of it that Anthony Joshua really was at the end of that fight. I really did forget that he technically was damn near out on his feet in that final round. He lucky that bell rung at the end of the 11th. And if Usyk would have really put it on him a little bit more in that 12th, he would have been out of there, bruh. And so this makes me ask the question of, is aggression the answer? Now, also I noticed during that fight that Usyk was just moving, grooving, lining up that straight shot down the pike each and every time, just constantly moving and grooving. It pretty much was basically the footwork. It was the footwork, fight fans, that was winning him that damn fight. The footwork. So will the aggression be able to pin Usyk down? And what if the aggression doesn't work on Usyk's footwork? What if Usyk is able to outmaneuver Anthony Joshua through his aggression? Like, is Anthony coming forward, swinging and walking him down and trying to, you know, hunt him down and cut the ring off, being more aggressive? What does that do if he can't pin Usyk down and he can't touch Usyk? Even picking up the pace. How much time would Anthony Joshua have to take off? Is aggression the answer? I always say that with Deontay Wilder, Malik Scott, we just talked about this. Little tweaks, small tweaks. I wanted to see Deontay Wilder add a little tweak into his game, and that was it. I feel as though AJ was hanging with Usyk pretty well in that particular fight. The only problem was, outside of just throwing that jab and becoming confused on when to bring his boom, bring his right hand, I thought that was a problem. Too much thinking. Less instinct, too much thinking. But if Ryan Garcia says, come in there, put your foot on the gas, keep going, keep going, keep going. If AJ gets tired, what does that look like versus Alexander Usyk? Because Usyk's footwork was perfect. The way he was lining his shots up was crazy. Like, he was maneuvering and doing that Lomachenko shit, but the way he was maneuvering his feet, he always kept the outside foot, always, that entire fight. Kept the outside foot and was just lining up his straight shot, bow, straight down the pike each and every time. It was the footwork doing it. Now, I mean, aggression might be the answer. I'm not saying it's not the answer. But I just wonder what happens if he can't pin this kid down. What about, you know, what about if the hand speed of Alexander Usyk? Alexander Usyk also won that fight on hand speed. He was giving off combination punching while Anthony Joshua was giving off a jab here, jab here, trying to line up a good shot, but couldn't really do it. And whenever he did do it, whenever Usyk would run into something, because the times when Anthony Joshua was having success, Usyk was running into a shot or two here and there. He'll run into the right hand a little bit. He'll run into the shots, trying to get within range. That's the main reason I think that Deontay Wilder would knock Alexander Usyk out. Because Usyk got to keep scooting within range. And the times that Joshua was successful, Usyk was running into a lot of that shit, trying to get within range. That cannot be Deontay Wilder. But if Anthony Joshua is aggressive, will he still be able to deal with the hand speed of Usyk? Well, Joshua got to load up on 1 or 2 big shots. What does that take out of him? Is aggression the answer? That seems to be the main word from the fans, from Robert. That seems to be a bit of the thing that's coming out of the AJ camp. Aggression, aggression, aggression. Make him mean, mean, mean. I'm not, like I said, fight fans, I'm not saying that's not the answer. I believe little tweaks. I believe timing should be his friend going into this fight. Timing should be his friend going into this fight. And if you don't win this fight on timing, because he's not going to be able to deal with the hand speed, he's not going to be able to go too much back and forth with Usyk, running around trying to pin him down. I just think he got to pick his spots if he's going to do that. He's got to really pick his spots if he's going to do that. Doing that for consistent round after round, we know that's not going to work. Anthony Joshua gets tired in this fight. That will be the worst thing that can happen to him in this fight. He'll get the scoreboard ran up on him. Rounds after round will be passing. He'll end up having to do things that he don't want to do. And Alexander Usyk got the hand speed to really counter well. And if you get tired, dealing with his hand speed and his footwork will be a problem. I guess what I'm trying to say, fight fans, is Anthony Joshua has to get through this fight without getting tired. That's the key. He gets tired, this fight goes bye-bye. And so it got to be aggression, but it got to be smart aggression, fight fans. Very smart. It can't be constant. And, you know, it just got to be smart. And that's the thing that makes me think that, will he get in there and get to thinking too much again? Am I going too hard? Am I not going hard enough? If Robbie Garcia is pushing him, go, AJ, go. Don't stop. Keep throwing, keep punching, You know how Robbie Garcia does his fighters. It's the only way I've ever seen Robbie Garcia. It's the only way I've really ever seen him. Rallying his fighters. Well, will that hurt AJ? I don't know, fight fans. Well, fight fans, I hung around with the phone lines. I don't think nobody calling me tonight. And it's totally cool, man, because it's getting late out here on the East Coast, man. We're looking at about damn near midnight. Yeah, we're at midnight over here in the DMV. So I know it's real late, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, folks got to get up for work tomorrow and the whole 9 yards. So I just want to say this, man. I want to say thank y'all to everybody that rocked out with me tonight. I'm gonna grab a couple comments before we get out of here. I want to say thank you to everybody that rocked out with the latest episode of We Talking Boxing tonight. I'm a little tired, and I got in real late, fight fans. I got hung up a little bit, but I was not going to not let the show go on. I had to get on here, and I had to give the fam a show. We're going to keep We Talking Boxing Live going each and every Thursday, every Sunday here on Mainman Mademan's Boxing. You know what I'm saying? I always give the fam a chance to call in, but I know this is a pretty slow week when it comes to boxing, you know what I mean? So maybe ain't a lot on y'all mind this tonight, you know what I mean? And the only fight that's really everybody's going to be looking forward to this weekend is Ryan and Javier Fortuna. We'll see how that goes. If my words got a little mixed up and I didn't give a clear enough prediction, fight fans, let me just say, I'm favoring Ryan Garcia to win this fight. I'd say unanimous decision. I'm not going to go with the stoppage. I think Ryan takes him by decision. Yeah, I think Ryan takes him by decision. I think he wins this fight roughly about a give or take 8-4. 8-4. He should be able to outbox Javier Fortuna, but Javier Fortuna is not going to be an easy cookie to crack. Javier only got one loss officially, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man. Javier Fortuna is a tough cookie to crack. Or does he got two? He got 1 or 2 losses. I think he got 1 loss. Yeah, Javier only got like 1 loss, right? So he ain't just no bum, you know. And Javier has been smartly maneuvering himself around boxing. Oh, I take that back. Javier has he has 3 losses. I take that back. Oh shit. All right, so he has 3 losses. But he skipped around boxing, you know, lately in his last few fights, kind of in a protective fashion, you know what I mean? And we know he never really kind of gave Devin Haney that fight. Went around that fight for numerous reasons. You know what I mean? This is an on-again, off-again fight right here with Ryan Garcia. Fights with him and Jorge Linares fell out. Fights with him and Luke Campbell fell out. These were all attempts to go around Devin Haney on Javier Fortuna's part. And, you know, Javier Fortuna, like I said, man, he's really tight with Samson Lekowicz. And Samson just got that slime ball look to me, fight fans. He just looked like a damn slime ball, you know what I'm saying? No offense to Samson Lekowicz, but he just looked like a slime ball. And I just don't trust him, man. You know, if he go in there with that acting shit like he did against Adrian Granado's fight fans, I'm gonna see that shit a mile away. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all go back to that Adrian Granado's fight and y'all tell me that Javier Fortuna shouldn't got the Oscar for the best acting performance of the damn year. So I got every reason as to why not to trust him. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be well, man. A couple comments and I'm on my way out the door. You know what I'm saying? Much love to the fam, dog. Much love to the fam. Big Doe says, oh, hold on. We got a phone call. Y'all caught me on the way out the door. Hold on. Call back, whoever that was. I missed the call. Okay, this fam. I know who this is. Hold on, fam. Let me get you set up properly, man. Let me turn this music down. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. What's up, man? You on the line with Mainman. This who I think it is? Who this? Still there? Hello? I think that's the homie Jerry, man. Oh, he hung up. Call back. Yeah, there you go. What's up, man? You on the phone with Mainman. Who this?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Jerry calling from Baltimore.
Hey, my main man Jerry, man. What's up, champ? How you been, man? How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you clear, bro.
Hey, doing good, man. How you feeling?
Hey, man, you know,
how you feeling?
Just chilling, man. Enjoying the rest of the summer. Yeah, I'm good, bro. Just joining the rest of the summer, man. You know what I mean? Looking ready for some good fights, hoping for some good news towards the end of the year.
Yep. Let me get off some bars here.
Go ahead.
AJ Usyk. I was telling him last night. I don't know why people think that Usyk just beat the hell out of AJ in that fight, because that's not what happened. That fight was pretty close. Up until the 10th round, it was a fairly even fight, to be honest. Mm-hmm. AJ got a little gas there at the end, and Usyk, I think, won the last 3 rounds, gave him a 3-round victory in the fight. Why people act like AJ is going to have to move a mountain to beat Usyk in the rematch is beyond me. I think Usyk is a little overrated. That's what I'm saying. Now, I know he unified the cruiserweight division, but he didn't really beat nobody special down there. He had 2 fights at heavyweight against Chisora and Witherspoon's nephew, and there wasn't nothing special to look out there. He fought Joshua, and he beat him, but I didn't see anything dominating like what people are saying. How about you? What you think?
Absolutely not, man. I didn't see anything dominating either.
Hello?
And I'm here with you, Jerry. And it seems to me that, like, all he needed was little small tweaks, bro. And this is what I'm saying. I don't think that he got to rebuild the game plan. He ain't got to do none of that stuff.
Nope. He just needs to use his size a little bit more. He needs to lean on Usyk any chance he can get. Take a page from Tyson Fury, or hell, look at Ali. Ali was a master at doing that. That makes your legs tired, and hey, that's all part of the fight game. When you're a big man, you gotta learn how to fight big. And Usyk, a lot of times when you fight a fighter, like a heavyweight fights a smaller fighter, they're at a disadvantage because the smaller fighter a lot of times faster. And Usyk is a tad faster than AJ. And he's got sharp boxing skills, so that makes it a little more tough. That's why it's that much where he can punch you. You got long arms and you got height. Stay on the outside until you feel like it's advantageous to fight on the inside. But AJ, a couple slight adjustments, and he can win that fight. Now, Ryan Garcia this weekend. I like Ryan Garcia. the kid's got a lot of talent, man. His hands are super fast. He got real power in his left hook, and he catches a lot of criticism because he canceled a couple fights, and he talks a lot, but I don't really fault him for talking a lot because that's how you get people to pay attention.
What you think about his footwork? What you think about his footwork?
And there's nothing really wrong with that, and it takes balls. Well, I mean, his footwork isn't the very best I've ever seen, of course not, but you could take any of these fighters and find something that ain't really the best. Like Devin Haney has got a lot going for him, but his power not that good. I think he's a better puncher than what he's given credit for. But the fact is, if you wanted to critique him, you could say that about him. You could say he's got a lot going on, but he doesn't punch that hard. You could say Ryan, he's a good puncher, but his footwork's not that good.
See the reason, but
Ryan Garcia went 3-3 with Devin Haney in the amateurs.
Yeah, I heard that, but I was going to say the reason I brought up the footwork is Javier Fortuna sometimes can get aggressive himself. And when people think that an aggressive style might give Ryan Garcia some problems because he can't move his feet fast enough to kind of get out the way, and that's why I was just wondering would there be a problem if Javier kicks it up again? You know what I mean?
Well, we're going to find that out in this fight, and that's why this is a good fight. This is a dangerous opponent, like you said. Fortuna is not a cakewalk. He's an aggressive fighter. He needs a win. He desperately needs a win. So he's going to be. I really feel like he's going to come prepared, and this is a good fight for Ryan. This is a good step-up fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he might get knocked down in this fight again. Knockdowns don't deter me from a fighter. The greatest fighters have been knocked down and knocked out. I come from a school where it's not what happens. You get knocked down, that's okay. What are you going to do after you get knocked down? That's what tells the truth, because the best fighters in the history of boxing have almost all of them have been knocked down and even knocked out. You know what I mean? The measure of a champion is what happens after you get knocked down or after you get buzzed. Ryan got knocked down when he fought the English guy, Luke Campbell. That was a clean knockdown.
Yep.
But he got up, and he went right back into the fray, and he stopped that guy with a vicious body shot in the very next round.
He did.
Devin Haney, when he fought Linares, he got caught. Everybody's seen in that 10th round, he got caught with a shot he didn't see, and that shot hurt him.
Yeah.
He was hurt from that shot. But you seen what he did. He showed veteran experience, and he held and he moved, and he did just what you want to see a fighter do. That was veteran experience there, because he had won every second of the fight. The only second he lost was when he got caught at the very end of that round. But he knew just what to do, and he did it. And that's what champions are made of. Now, Ryan went 3-3 with Devin in the amateurs. Now, that's the amateurs, but still, you got to have something going for you to do that.
Right.
And I've heard Devin talk about Ryan, and he gets some good props. He's just got to get his head on straight,
Mm-hmm. You think? I think Oscar slowed him down for that specific reason, though.
The fact that he's got haters.
He gotta add a little. They waiting on that man strength to kick in, and I think they slowed him down for that reason. They knew he wasn't quite all the way there with the rest of the crop yet. I think they slowed him down for that specific reason.
Yeah, I mean, 9 times out of 10 with fighters, it's a mental thing. And that's what I see with Anthony Joshua. A lot of people think because he's a gold medalist and he's a world champion and stuff, but it's well documented that Joshua suffers from what they call performance anxiety. Sometimes his mental game isn't all the way there. And in that Andy Ruiz fight, the first one, it was rumored that he had an anxiety attack in the back in the dressing room.
I heard that.
Now, you might look at Andy Ruiz and say, this little fat motherfucker, yeah, why would he, but it wasn't that. It was, he was making his American debut, and professional athletes, a lot of them, they have to hire, doctors to come in and help them with the mental part, because, boxing is big mental. And I don't think that is what affected AJ in the Usyk fight, though, not so much. But in the Ruiz fight, it was widely rumored that that's what happened, that he had an anxiety attack, and he mentally wasn't into the fight. I mean, I don't know, but I know that sort of shit does happen.
You think that would make
Lastly, I
him?
want to
You
speak
think that would
on
make him
Crawford
intimidated?
and
Intimidated
Spence.
against Deontay Wilder? You think the fact that Deontay Wilder's power in his right hand, if AJ was standing across from him, do you think that he
Yeah,
would have a lot of anxiety dealing with the
yeah,
power of Deontay Wilder?
yeah, yeah. I never thought that was a good matchup for AJ. AJ is head is too still, and he too acceptable to getting hit. And Deontay Wilder's tall with long arms. He can hit you from across the ring.
Yeah.
That's a bad matchup for AJ. And I don't give a fuck what nobody says. They never wanted that fight for AJ.
Facts.
Wilder would knock him clear the fuck out. You know, if Ruiz knocked him out and beat him up and beat him down like that, you can just imagine what Wilder. But I will say this though about Deontay Wilder. Might not be a popular thing, but I kind of hope Wilder doesn't come back.
Wow.
Those last two fights, he took was a world-class ass whooping in both of those fights. I mean, he the second fight, he was almost getting beat to death. He was bleeding from every orifice. He was concussed.
Yeah.
He didn't have any stamina. He didn't have any punch resistance. And a lot of people look over the fact that Wilder has like 50 fights. That's a career for a heavyweight easily.
True.
That's a career for a fucking welterweight.
Right.
He's got a lot of fights already, and people don't realize it for some reason. And those last two fights were damaging fights. I know that was hurtful to some folks, but the fact is, I didn't like what I seen. And in the third fight, well, I mean, let's face it, man. His punch resistance wasn't there, and his stamina wasn't there. He was tired from early on in the fight, and that right hand that is so devastating. He wasn't throwing it with the same snap, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still dangerous. He's always going to be dangerous. That motherfucker could be 70 years old and still be dangerous. But he's made a lot of money now. He made his mark in the heavyweight division, and I know he's got some beautiful kids. And I'd rather, if it was me, I don't know. He knows better than anybody if he's fit to fight. But I didn't like what I seen. He's at the end of his career. Maybe if he could get a big fight like the winner of the AJ Usyk fight, and he could get big money, and he's fit, you know, the doctors clear him, he gets the CAT scans, and he's clear to fight, maybe. But at a certain point, you got to ask yourself, when is the money? You know, when do I have enough money and I can live out my life, you know, with my family and everything intact? And what's it worth to get back in there and take some more concussions? You know what I mean?
It seems like the way
man, if he was,
let me say the way
he didn't have as many fights.
The way Deontay Wilder is describing things, like it almost sounds like he was saying people was in his ear, just like telling him come back, come back, come back. So it's almost like that people had to convince him to try to come back. Like it wasn't his first decision. It was he had to be convinced to come back. You think that's a good thing or a bad thing, or like for him not to want to run back to it?
Well, see, that's the thing. When you can garner big money, a lot of those people close to you are going to want you to come back because they can benefit from it. You know what I mean? They're not taking the punches, and so you know, he may not be thinking so much in line with fighting. You know, boxing is a passion sport. You got to have desire for it.
Right.
And if you're at the end of your career and you've made a lot of money like he has, if you don't have a passion for it, that makes it even more the chance you're going to get up there and get fucked up and get hurt.
Yeah.
Now, people will say, well, he's a big puncher. Yes, he is a big puncher. He might be a big puncher his whole life. He could be an old man and still be a big puncher. But still, you got to weigh it out. Like I say, if I was in charge with Wilder, I would have to make absolutely certain he's fit. He'd have to take some extensive scans, you know, to make sure that he's very fit to fight. And then if you can get a big fight for big money and you're fit to fight, maybe then if he's down for it. But I got a feeling that he's not really down for it. Because if he was, he probably would have come back by now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he probably would have had at least one fight by now, you know, if he really had him for it again.
That's true.
Maybe he's waiting for the outcome of Joshua and Usyk. Maybe he's waiting to see who wins that fight.
Hey, well, what do you think about
But I don't see nobody
him and
matching
him and Malik Scott? What do you think about the duo between him and Malik Scott? You think that's a good match or no?
Well, I don't think it's a bad match, but I just think Deontay Wilder at this point, like a lot of fighters, once they're several fights in, I mean, like I say, he's 50 fights in. How much you going to teach him that he hasn't already been taught?
Right.
It's not like he hasn't been taught how to box. Of course, people have taught him how to box throughout his whole career. But he's a puncher, and he relies on his punching. And when he tries to rely on his boxing, that usually doesn't benefit him. You know what I mean? Because a lot of guys can outbox him, but his strength is punching. And you've seen for pretty much all of his career, everybody he fought, that was enough, and it was more than enough. He knocked motherfuckers out left and right. You know, Fury had his number, but that happens. You know, that could be a case also of, like I say, by the time he got around to fighting Fury, he'd already had like 46 fights.
Yeah. And that Luis Ortiz fight.
You know what I'm saying?
Remember that Luis Ortiz fight? 2 of them.
Well, yeah, he fought Ortiz. Yeah, he fought Ortiz twice. Those are probably his 2 best victories. I would say he
took a lot of damage though. He took some damage in those fights.
But he took some damage in those fights. That's another thing people don't realize because they know Wilder knocked out most of his opponents, and a lot of them he knocked out early. But you take damage in every fight. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Plus, you take the damage of the training leading up to the fight and the sparring. So each camp, you know, you figure 40, 45, 50 camps where you're sparring and then the fight. That's a lot, man. That's a whole lot. And I just think he's done. The way I thought Klitschko when Tyson Fury fought Klitschko was done. Mm-hmm. He was done. He still had muscles, just like Wilder. You know, his body still looked fit, but he was done at a competitive level. He was gun shy. His reflexes wasn't there. If you watch Wilder in the second and third fight, his right hand was still dangerous, but it didn't have the same snap and velocity on it. It was something missing there. He was stumbling forward when he would throw it. It just wasn't the same fighter there. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got to ask you this one last thing.
Fury calling him at the right time at the end of his career.
Let me ask you this then about that. Do you think anybody else, not named Tyson Fury, can do that to Deontay Wilder?
Well, at this point, yeah, at this point. But the thing is, it's just like it always is with Wilder, is you got to avoid that fucking bomb. Because he showed even in the second and third Fury fights that if he catches you, you know, you might get your utilities shut off. Yeah. And so, like, if he was to fight, say, if he was to fight, say, Usyk, same thing. I could see a situation where Usyk might outbox him and have better footwork and be doing like that. But if Wilder catches him with that bomb, well, we know what that is. Just like Tank Davis. Everybody talking about Tank lately. Tank's right here from B-More. I knew who Tank Davis was before Mayweather did because he was a bit of a local legend in town here. Yeah, but Tank Davis, you know, they can say, anybody can say what they want. Devin Haney, Lomachenko. I mean, those are good fights. And those guys are skilled guys. But if Tank puts that fucking... If he catches you, a gold medal, undisputed, don't matter. Yeah, that motherfucker's the hardest puncher I ever seen below 140. I ain't never seen a fighter below 140 that could punch like him.
Hey Jerry, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Turn your TV. Turn your TV down. Turn your TV or your radio down. I don't want the music to get.
Okay, I'm out of there. I'm out of there now. I was in the other room there. Yeah. I like Tank, man. He's an exciting guy. But I like most boxing fans, we want to see him. We want to see him. There's a lot of talent down there around him. We want to see those fights. Dang. Mayweather's pissing everybody off. He's pissing me off. You know, let that man loose, man. He's going to make good money fighting those guys, too.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
He probably stands to make more money.
Right, but they gotta. Don't you think that somebody gotta?
I don't know what the relationship right now is.
You don't think that somebody got to make some initiative to go towards Tank though? I mean, I don't see. It's like these dudes are like on islands, man, and Nobody ain't jumping in a little boat to meet each other in the middle of the river.
Devin Haney just won the undisputed title. He just won all the belts at 135, and the first thing out of his mouth is Tank Davis. Come on, Tank, let's make a fight. Let's make a fight. But you don't hear nothing from Tank. Tank, all you hear from Mayweather is we're about the money, and Mayweather said we're not going to fight anybody that's not in-house. I mean, they're fucking telling you. They're telling you straight up, we're going to take in-house fights, and we're going to make the money, and we don't give a fuck about the rest of it. And boxing fans got to put their foot down. Like I say, I'm a Tank Davis fan. I done bought all of his pay-per-views, all three of them that he's had so far. And I want to support the guy, man. But look, if you're the cash cow, and you promoters claiming you're the cash cow in the division and you're the best, well, you got to make some of these fights, man. It's up to you to make some of these fights. These guys are calling you out. Loma, Ryan, Devin, they're all calling you. I don't really blame Tank, because I know that it's not the fighters who really can make the fights. You see what I mean? They really don't make the fights.
Right.
It's
I mean,
the promoters that make the fights.
You wouldn't look at Devin. You wouldn't look at Devin and say he's with two promoters, though. He decided to go and sign with two promoters, and one of the promoters being that the PBC don't like working with in Lou DiBella. You don't think that a guy like Devin Haney made his own route, and you knew business-wise it's going to be tough to do. So shouldn't he have maybe gave Tank a call first if that was the more important fight, other than if you don't worry about the undisputed? Or
well, he's talked about fighting Tank. He's talked about fighting Tank before when Tank he was supposed to fight Pitbull Cruz, and the fight fell out, and they were looking for an opponent. He tried to make a fight with him then also, but at that time, Devin was fighting at DAZN, so it was still a problem from a network perspective, because Tank is exclusive to Showtime. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't realize that it's far more complicated than the fighters just wanting to fight each other, because rarely are the fighters are afraid. They don't duck each other. They're not afraid to fight each other. That's the last fucking thing they are, is afraid. But they can't make the fights. They don't finance the fights. The promoters finance the fights. They're a lot of times exclusively tied to a network. Tank Davis is an exclusive fighter to Showtime.
Right.
That means they don't want him fighting somewhere else. That's no good for them.
Right.
And same thing for Devin Haney when he was fighting with DAZN. Now he's fighting for ESPN, but it's the same thing. Those cross-promotion fights, they rarely happen.
But that's why I'm saying that Devin...
That's just so huge. It has to be...
Well, that's why I'm saying Devin chose his own route. He could have honestly took that break when he left Eddie Hearn.
Well,
he could have said, "Hey, let me go over here and get a Tank fight. Let me call Floyd."
But you can't blame Devin for it. Yeah, no. But you can't blame Devin Haney for going after the undisputed title, because that polishes his brand. You can't sit around and wait on Tank Davis to hope that Tank Davis is going to call your number, because it don't look like they're going to try to match you with him anyway. And plus, you got to keep in mind, Devin Haney is not really a big ticket seller. The fight he had before Kambosos, he had in Las Vegas against Jojo Diaz, and that's Haney's adopted hometown, and he only sold 4,000 tickets.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So if you know
right.
He's not a big draw. He's lined himself up with two promoters, one of them being Lou DiBella, and you know that the Deontay Wilder deal went south because of what Lou DiBella did, and PBC ain't worked with him since. If Devin chose to go over there, why call out Tank? And knowing that fight can't happen, why not just embrace Lomachenko and embrace the Shakur Stevenson fight when you are right there in the midst of both of them? And don't worry. That's why Floyd's saying don't worry about Tank. You chose your route.
Yeah. Well, but you know why Devin wants to fight Tank? That's the biggest paycheck in the division. It's not Lomachenko. Lomachenko's not that popular. He gets $2 million a fight. You know, he got like $2.5 million to fight Lopez. He's not a big ticket item, and neither is Shakur really at this point in time. But I agree with you that those seem like they're easier fights to make from a promotional standpoint, of course. Mm-hmm. But Tank is the bigger fight to make, right?
Yeah, Tank is the bigger fight, but you can't run to a protected place. You can't run to a protected space and say, "Well, now give me the Tank fight." If you wanted the Tank fight, you should have made steps to get the Tank fight. it was to me, Devin Haney was at a road where he had to choose either go after that undisputed belt or go after the popular fight. He chose to go after the belts. So you got to live with that decision now and fight everybody that's over there. That's just the way I see it worked out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can't blame Tank. I can't blame Tank.
I don't blame him. Right. Well, I agree with that, but I can't blame Haney for doing that because he can't wait around on what Tank might do. Right. Too many fighters in boxing doing that and fucking up their own careers. He's seen a chance to go get the undisputed title, which should broaden his brand. You know, so I can't blame him for doing that. Even if he vacated the title, which is what he would have to do. That's another thing. If he wants to fight someone other than Kambosos, he can't. He's going to have to move up to do it. That's why they're talking about the fighting Tank at 140, because he can't take another fight outside of Kambosos at 135, and he knows that because that's what he agreed to. That was part of the deal. Now, nobody really want to see it because he whooped Kambosos convincingly. I mean, he beat him every round. So I get people don't want to see it, but a deal's a deal. Andy Ruiz beat the dog shit out of Joshua and knocked him out and stopped him.
Yep.
And look what happened in the rematch. Joshua came back and won. So we don't know what could happen. I wouldn't favor Kambosos. He lost to one-sided, but that's what the deal is. If he wants to fight at 135 for those titles, but if I was him and I thought I could get the Tank Davis fight, I would just drop them titles because he by his own admission, he's struggling to make that weight. And that's a dangerous proposition when you start really struggling to make the weight. Any fight he could get in there, and the weight cut could affect him, and he could wind up losing. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but I just think
Lopez, I believe him when he says he made.
But I was gonna say, no, I just think that fight is dead on arrival, man. Like, think about how many hands is in that pot, and you just said yourself that Devin Haney is not a big ticket seller or a big draw. But how many hands will be in that pot? You got Bob Arum, you got Lou DiBella, you got Leonard Ellaby, you got Al Heyman, you probably got Floyd. I don't know. That's a lot of hands in the pot for a Devin Haney who ain't moving that many tickets. And that's how they looking at it. Like, bro, you signed to two promoters. You got two promoters.
Who though, Tank?
Yeah, you got because Devin already coming with two promoters.
You're talking about for Haney to fight Tank. I know, but you know what though, bro? At some point, we gotta stop allowing those things to be the reason fights between the best fighters don't happen, because if it's not Haney, if it's Lomachenko, then what? We're going to say the same thing. Oh, well, Floyd doesn't like Bob Arum. He hates Bob Arum, and he don't do business with Bob Arum. So, therefore, Lomachenko and Tank Davis can't fight, you know. And then if you pick Shakur Stevenson is promoted by Bob Arum, you say, oh, well, Tank can't fight him because, you know, at some point.
What did Crawford had to do to get the Spence fight?
Somebody's got to put that shit aside, or we ain't never going to see the fights. What's that?
What did Crawford had to do to get what did Crawford had to do to get the Spence fight?
Well, I mean, as you know, the fight hasn't been made yet, and the thing is, Bud Crawford and Errol Spence are the two top welterweights. Who wouldn't want to see them fight? They're two of the best fighters in the world. They're both in the welterweight division. Of course, fight fans want to see them two fight.
But did not Crawford had to go to PBC?
Happened? I'm going to tell you why it hasn't happened. Because did he have to go to PBC?
Yeah, he had to go to PBC.
Well, it should be obvious now. A lot of people said when Crawford... Yeah, but the fight ain't happened, and the fight's not signed. And here's the thing. When Bud Crawford was fighting for Bob Arum, a lot of wise guys said, oh, Bud just needs to leave Bob Arum and go to PBC. He just needs to leave Bob Arum and go to PBC and sign with them. Here's the problem. You can't sign with the PBC unless they offer you a deal. Yep. They ain't never offered Bud Crawford a deal. Never. Bud Crawford fought for Top Rank for 11 years. He signed 3 deals with Bob Arum. During that time, you can't find one piece of evidence where the PBC ever offered Bud Crawford a contract. They've never have offered him a penny. And even now, when people said, well, Bob Arum's the problem, he's getting in the way, Bob Arum, no. I remember Tim Bradley saying back then, this fight ain't going to happen regardless, Bob Arum or not. If you remember, Tim Bradley was saying that.
Mm-hmm.
It's likely not going to happen. Now, I like Bud Crawford, and I like Errol Spence. I don't know if you're a boxing fan how you could dislike either one of those guys. They're kick-ass fighters. They're top-notch fighters. And I don't know how you couldn't like either one. And the matchup I'm excited about it as any boxing fan. But what I have to say, in my personal opinion, it appears between the PBC, Bob Arum, Steven Espinoza, the top executive Showtime, and Eddie Hearn, Bud Crawford wants too much money. He's simply pricing himself out.
I mean, Espinoza came out with some good news.
If it was just Bob Arum.
Did you hear what Espinoza said?
What did he say?
Well, I mean, Espinoza's saying some good stuff. I mean, I put it right there on the screen right there for you so you can read it. But he's saying that they can get to this before the year's out. He is saying that they're working on it now, and the way he's talking, he's saying he feels confident that they can get to Spence and Crawford before the end of the year.
Well, that's great, but they've been talking that shit for a few months now. Right. Every week is, it's the same shit. Here's what I'm saying. Last I heard, anything concrete is that the fight wouldn't be the big summer fight. That's going to be Canelo and Golovkin. But this Crawford and Spence is going to be the big fall fight, right? It's going to be the big fight in the fall.
Yeah.
Well, if that fight is to take place in the fall, that means they're going to be announcing it sometime within the next 2 weeks, because they have to announce it within the next 2 weeks in order to get the promotion off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't wait until right up until it's time to fight to announce a fight like that. The fight going to need some promotion because it's got the full attention of the boxing purists and hardcore fans like me and you and the hardcore fans like us, but it doesn't have any casual interest, and that's why they can't make the fight. It ain't got enough money on it to where Bud can get what he feels is fair, and I guess Spence can get what he feels is fair. It's no knock on the fighters. They're fucking fabulous fighters. It's just boxing's just not that popular in the U.S. anymore. It's really it's hardly any fighters that are really getting the money. The fighters in the 90s were getting paid way more than guys are now.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Way more.
Technology got so good.
Trinidad, they was getting 13, 14. Well, yeah, people are stealing the fights. That's true. They're stealing the fights. But boxing's just not popular like that here in the United States. It's way down on the list. Baseball, football, basketball, hell, hockey, even golf is bigger than boxing.
Let me tell you something, Jerry.
Way down on the list.
Let me tell you. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
I think that boxing is still big, right? Because you go back to the Fury and Wilder fight, right? They said it was over 10 million illegal streams. I think that boxing is still big, but they just can't. They just haven't found a way to be able to deal with this illegal stream. Like back in Tyson in them days when they had all those great pay-per-view numbers, they also didn't have illegal streaming. So you can argue and say, hey, what would Mike Tyson and them numbers look like if they had to deal with the same thing that people got to deal with today? Yeah.
They got to figure that shit out, though, if that's the case, because, I mean, fuck, 10 million, if they said 10 million people stole it, that's like 9.5 million more people that bought the motherfucker.
Exactly.
So
that's
losing money. Yeah.
But you know what, Jerry?
At a quantum level.
But you know what, Jerry? That's to me the problem. Getting casual fans is a gift and a curse. When you get a bunch of casuals, the casuals that they want, casuals don't hold the sport. They don't stay in the sport. They will steal the fight. These same casuals that everyone. Man, these casuals, especially if they UFC fan, hey man, you got a link, man. They down for the link. They not down for the pen. It's the actual hardcore
that's true. Yeah, but a lot of hardcore people would rather not pay for it too. Fuck, I'm one of them. I don't know how to do the streaming bullshit, or I would probably do it because sometimes that cable bill shows up looking like a fucking second mortgage. You know what I'm saying? I bought Canelo's pay-per-view, then I bought Tank's pay-per-view, and them motherfuckers came on the same bill, and that shit hurts your feelings, man, when you start seeing that. I'm already paying like $28 a month for Showtime. I got DAZN, that's $22 a month. I got ESPN Plus. That's $12 or $13 a month. I'm $50, $60 in every month on boxing. That's another thing. Boxing's an expensive sport. You want to watch baseball, you can turn on the TV right now, and there's probably 6, 7 baseball games on free. Football, you can watch that for free all day on Sunday. Boxing, even just to watch these regular, matches that go down, if they go down, because sometimes they won't even have a card. I'm $56, $60 in every month on the cable bill, paying for channels so I can watch, boxing.
Damn. And still not getting a lot of the fights you want to see.
Competitive fight. And still not getting, and just sitting there like trying to be grateful for some bullshit. And then if it is a fight that's a halfway competitive, well, that's $80. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it ain't no wonder boxing ain't. Yeah. So it ain't no wonder boxing ain't popular, man.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck? Now you tell me. If on your regular day, like going about, I'll try to, like, if I talk to somebody, maybe bring up some boxing, see if I can find someone who knows a little bit about boxing. People don't, man. I never run into hardly ever anybody who knows, like, talk about Tyson or Holyfield. Or they'll tell you, boxing's no good anymore since Leonard, and you hear shit like that. You tell a motherfucker about, Errol Spence or any of these guys, basically.
Shit.
They don't know who the fuck.
No.
They don't know. You might run into one motherfucker. I was in the hospital recently, and there was a guy in there, was like a male nurse, and me and him got to talking boxing because he seen my necklace as a boxing glove, and he knew about boxing, and
it's refreshing,
it was like
ain't it?
A breath of fresh air, man, to find somebody who actually, yeah. That's why I like to get on at night on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be honest with you, man, a lot of shows, they get too far off topic, man. They start talking too much race shit, or they start talking just shit that just ain't got shit to do with boxing, and before you know it, people are at each other's throats.
Hey, let me ask you this,
I
Jerry.
heard these guys the other night on one of the show, they was talking about.
I was gonna say before I get out of here, Jerry, let me ask you this real quick, man. One fight that I ain't hear you mention that got announced this week, man. It's a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. Give me something on Dimitri Bivol versus Zurdo Ramirez.
Zurdo, I don't know what to make of that motherfucker. You talk about a guy that's been insignificant in boxing. I guess he's good. I guess he's undefeated. I couldn't tell you one motherfucker that he's fought. I don't even see his fights. I don't know where they air his fights.
Zurdo been on the low.
You know what I mean? But I don't know what to make of him.
Yeah, he just resurging back, man. He
had that. He had up there with Andrade.
Yeah, he had that fight with Bob Arum, man. You know how it is. You fight with Bob Arum, bro. You got to crawl your way back. So he had to crawl his way back after had that falling out with Bob Arum, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. Jake Paul and Rockman's son are about to fight, right?
Yeah.
Now, Jake Paul could take a lot of pointers from some professional fighters on how to be a professional fighter. But more professional fighters could take pointers from that motherfucker on how to promote themselves. And Zurdo Ramirez is one. Demetrius Andrade is another. These guys got to start making themselves a little bit more, how do you say?
Visible.
Just something to get yourself a little bit. Yeah, man. Listen, people get it mistaken when they talk about boxing promoters like a Bob Arum or a Leonard Ellerby. These guys aren't promoters in a sense of they're out there on the corner, carnival barking with a megaphone and doing a fucking song and dance. That's not what they are. They finance the fights. Mm-hmm. You got to promote yourself. Lots of fighters have known this. Ali, no one was better at it than Muhammad Ali. Mm-hmm. He knew how to promote a fight, and he knew how to promote himself. Now, everybody isn't an extrovert like Ali or Tyson Fury. He's another one. He's good at it. Adrian Broner. Look at all them big fights Adrian Broner got. He was losing most of them fights, but he kept getting big fight after big fight. Now, I thought he was corny as hell myself, but at least he was setting himself aside a little bit. You know what I mean? He was setting himself, making himself a little bit entertaining, and that's what boxing is. It's much like wrestling in that it's sports entertainment. It's not pre-scripted usually, you know.
Well,
it's a real fight, but if you want to be a fighter.
I was going to say, that's the beautiful thing about Floyd. You look at his career, right? You look at Pretty Boy, and then you look at Money May. Now, when he was Pretty Boy, sharp as sharp, I mean, he was super sharp, right? But, of course, he wasn't crossing over like he wanted to cross over. Once he became that Money May, that flamboyant character, throwing money around and everything, it took him to another level, not only popularity and everything, you know what I mean? You learn from that.
It did. But one thing Floyd understood, and one thing he was willing to do is something that a lot of fighters aren't really willing to do, is to be a heel. He wasn't afraid to be hated.
Yeah. Because
he knew haters will pay more to watch you lose than fans will to watch you win, and Floyd knew that. He picked that up. He must have from wrestling or something, because in wrestling is very popular. You know, a heel a lot of times is more popular than, you know, the good guy. Mm-hmm. And Floyd kind of sold out in that regard. And there was times where it kind of bit him in his ass a little bit. For instance, when he fought Ricky Hatton, they had the press conference in Vegas in the weigh-in, and there was like 12,000 motherfuckers there, and you couldn't find a Floyd fan in there. It was all Ricky Hatton fans. Yeah. And I remember Floyd saying, I just want the U.S. fans to root for me, and, you know, he kind of was feeling a little taken back, but it was too late. He already made himself hated. He played the part of a spoiled athlete, throwing money in people's faces and stuff like that. But it worked out brilliantly, though, because look at a fucking warehouse full of money that you know, and he got, and he made a lot of fans along the way too. But he had a lot of haters, and that's the thing. Canelo Alvarez, hell, Mike Tyson, hell, Ali. Ali had a bunch of people that loved him, but he had a lot of people that didn't like him. Yeah. But they paying. And Floyd knew that, you know. Smart man. So he was able to get over on that. But when he was with Bob Arum, here's what Bob Arum did. Bob Arum tried to promote Floyd like Oscar. Oscar was getting big paychecks at the time, and he was the golden boy. And when he would do his ring interviews, he would smile, and he would smile a lot, and he would say good things about his opponent and stuff. Well, Bob tried to promote Floyd like Oscar, but instead of the golden boy, he called Floyd the pretty boy. But if you look at Floyd's interviews back then, he would smile a lot. He wouldn't cuss. He tried to have an image like Oscar, but the thing is, it didn't work for Floyd the way it worked for Oscar. Bob Arum got it wrong, and he's admitted to getting it wrong. He got it wrong with Floyd. He thought that would, you know, he would try to make Floyd like the black Oscar, minus the gold medal, because Oscar did have that gold medal, and that helps, you know, that helps a fighter. Right. Plus, Oscar was Mexican-American. He had the matinee looks and everything. He had a lot going for him. Mm-hmm. It didn't work that way. It didn't quite work the same for Floyd. But, you know, Floyd knew what would work for him, and the rest is history. You know, he went out and made more money than anybody. Wow. You know, I was just talking to a guy about it last night, though, and I got to be honest with you. I love Floyd Mayweather. I bought all of his fucking pay-per-views. I'm part of the reason he's rich, because I bought all of them. But in the second half of his career, when he was a lightweight, he was the baddest motherfucker you ever seen. He not only was going to box your ears off, he was going to beat your ass. Damn right. Also. And look no further than a Corrales fight. But there's several fights when he was a lightweight. But after he fought Oscar, the stakes got so high that Floyd quit taking chances. He became a really defensive fighter, almost to the point where it was almost boring at times. It was. And it culminated with the Pacquiao fight, where we waited 5 years for that fight. And Floyd, every time I seen him, he was telling me how easy Pacquiao was going to be and how much better he was than him. But when I watched that fight, I see Floyd avoiding combat the whole fight. I don't mind that you want to be defensive and try not.
Yeah, bad hands too, though. Think about his hands.
You're just going to avoid combat the whole fucking fight long. And that's why when you hear Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns and them talk about Floyd Mayweather, they recognize that Mayweather's a great fighter, but they don't know how to rank him historically. When you ask them where would Floyd fit in back in your era, they don't even rank him. Wow. They don't even know where to rank him.
I just think it does say a lot.
Too many times where Floyd had an opportunity to really seize greatness, and he just played it safe instead.
I was gonna say it does say a lot about Floyd though, for him to do the second half of his career with them brittle hands like that and still had the level of success that he had. And I think that's like, cause I don't know if all of them dudes, Sugar Ray, Tommy Hearns, could they've gotten as far as Floyd got when he had them bad hands. He couldn't punch nobody. He had them he had them pillow gloves on. Would they had the same success as Floyd in the condition that Floyd was in? Is a question.
Well, guess who else had bad hands?
Who that?
Well, guess who else had bad hands most of his career? Sugar Ray Leonard.
Oh yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard had bad hands. He also had a bad shoulder, and he had a bad eye. Yeah, his last 6-7 fights, he had one eye with a detached retina. Fighters fight with injuries all the time. Floyd fought in Vegas exclusively for a reason, and that reason was he could get injections there that he couldn't get in other big commissions. Yeah. It's legal in Vegas, and he didn't do nothing wrong because it's legal there. But he was also getting injections for those things. What I seen was Floyd just quit taking the chances. When he was a lightweight, he would take chances, and it made for exciting fights, and he would get a lot of stoppages, even though he was never a big puncher because he had hand problems his whole career. He had hand problems as a lightweight also. Almost all fighters have hand fight issues. They stay with busted hands. If you know any professional fighters, just ask them to show you their hands, and typically, even a semi-pro, their knuckles will be all fucked because they're hitting shit all the time. But some fighters complain about it a lot. Some fighters it bothers more than others, but they all have injuries like that. I seen a guy who stopped taking chances. He figured, you know what? When he fought Cotto, he said after the fight, I really felt like I could stop him, if I would have, and he wouldn't say if I would have took some chances, but he just wouldn't elaborate. Then when he fought Mosley, he said the same thing. He said, yeah, I really felt like I could have stopped him, if I would have, when he fought Zab Judah, same thing. I really felt like I could have stopped him if I would have, if I could have. Yeah, but that's what he did. Now, I can't really say that I can blame him because the stakes were so fucking high. I mean, it's hard to blame him because when you take chances, you that's just what you're doing. You're taking chances. You might fuck around and get knocked out. You see what I mean? And then that big money train will be over.
Hey, man, I got to get ready to get on out of here, Jerry, man. Thank you for the phone call, bro. What an amazing call, bro. What an amazing call. Amazing.
Yes, sir, brother. Hey, you have a good night.
Same to you,
I'll call you back sometime.
All right, next Thursday, bro. Next Thursday or Sunday.
Have a good night, brother.
All right, same to you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man, that's the homie Jerry Tasker right there, man. Yeah, man, that's Jerry. He always brings very entertaining calls, man. Every time he calls in, fight fans, man, I love to hear. That's when I knew when I seen that number flash across, I said I got to get Jerry on, man. He always bring a real entertaining element to the show. His calls are very valuable to the show. You know what I'm saying? All of y'all calls out. You know what I mean? I love when y'all call me up, talk this real spill, talk boxing. Let me learn something, you know what I'm saying? Jerry just took me all around the world of boxing just now through different days and times, you know what I'm saying? Feel good. Felt like I just ran a whole movie through my head talking about all that stuff. I love it, man. And that's why we come on over here to We Talking Boxing Live, and y'all rock out with Mainman Mademan and the entire fam. I'm out of here, fight fans. We going on 12:30 a.m. out here in the DMV. I want to say thank you to everybody that rocked out with the show tonight. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. If you did not hit it on the way in, share, and rock those bells, man. We went through a few subjects. Anybody that came in on the second half of the show, y'all go ahead on back through, you know what I'm saying? Go to the beginning portion, and you'll see we ran through different topics along the way. One more topic I wanted to get to, but it's all good. It's late now. I wanted to run through some more of the betting stuff and look at some of the other fights, but no big deal. We'll just cover it on the next episode of We Talking Boxing. Y'all enjoy the fights, man. Y'all, let's keep our third eye on Ryan Garcia, man. Let's see if he go out there this weekend, get the job done, give him a highlight reel, you know what I'm saying? The highlight reel that's needed to apply more pressure towards a tank fight. And if it's real talk, we all wait and see, fight fans. We all wait and see. But we all love this game called boxing, man. And I want to say thank y'all for hanging up with me late tonight, man. Much love to y'all all, man. And stay stressed and sucker free. Remember, the devil is everywhere, omnipresent, everywhere at the same time. Once you sad, once you ruined, once you in the dumps, and the whole 9 yards. You're too great for that. You are great. You're a conqueror. There's something great that lives in you. Man, go out there and let the whole world see your greatness. Y'all be good, fight fans. And thank y'all once again for rocking out with the homie. And much love to the fam. Enjoy the fights. I'm going to be live right after the Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna fight. I will be live right after the Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna fight. So y'all come on and rock out for the post-fight reaction all day. And until the next video, fam. Peace out.
You are now listening